This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine Volume 3, dated December 4, 1998. It features prominent red lettering for Dreamcast Magazine and showcases Godzilla Generations as a highlighted title with an image of Godzilla. The cover also mentions Virtua Fighter 3 TB as a major feature with 34 pages dedicated to it and a special present related to the 4th issue. Other featured games and topics mentioned include Project Berkeley, which is likely referring to Shenmue, Sonic Adventure, Project 2, July, Penny, Climax Riders, Sagata Sanshiro 2, G-Girls Doki Doki Tycoon, Sakura Wars 2, and Sega Rally 2. The page notes that details for Mario Network Adventure 1-inch will be included, and mentions Micro Network System Participation First Bullet announcement. There is also a note about Barkley, Shut Up and Jam, Gaiden, in development. The cover highlights Dreamcast, 1 week before release, overnight scoop report. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game 7th Cross Evolution, which is described as a biological evolution simulation RPG. The ad highlights the game's use of SOM, self-organization map, technology, which is presented as creating realistic expressions on the Dreamcast. The player is tasked with survival and evolution in the game world. The advertisement also details a pre-order campaign where purchasers can win 10 million yen worth of product vouchers. To enter, players need to send in a postcard with their opinions of 7th Cross after playing a demo. 200 winners will be selected to receive 50,000 yen worth of product vouchers usable at major retail stores nationwide. The campaign period is from December 23, 1998 to January 23, 1999. Screenshots show various aspects of the game, including gameplay with characters and environments, menu screens with detailed character stats and equipment, and a map interface. The game is set to be released on December 23, 1998, with a suggested retail price of 5,800 yen, excluding tax. The bottom of the page includes contact information for NEC Home Electronics and their website address. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Senko Turb, described as an advanced action role-playing adventure. The tagline is, "Love, courage, and do as you please." The game is set in a cute, surreal, and mysterious world called Turb World, where a lonely girl wanders the universe and gets involved in a cat versus sheep battle on Lion Planet, all rendered with 1,000,000 polygons. The advertisement features screenshots showcasing the 3D polygonal graphics of the game. It is scheduled for release on January 14, 1999, with a suggested retail price of 5,800 yen. The publisher is NEC. This page is the contents page for Dreamcast Magazine Volume 3. It outlines the key articles within, focusing on the imminent Dreamcast launch, just 1 week away. Featured sections include details on pre-order status and peripherals, essential information for buyers, and a Dreamcast Night Scramble information guide covering purchasing strategies. There's a special interview titled Countdown to Dreamcast with Sega's Kunihisa Ueno. Game previews are highlighted, including Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Project Berkeley, which is now known as Shenmue, Sonic Adventure, and Marionette Handler. The page also mentions Dreamcast hot information, with new game announcements like Sega Rally 2, Climax Landers, Evolution, The World of Sacred Device, Blue Stinger, Pen Pen Triathlon, and Godzilla Generations. This page is the game index for the magazine, listing Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games with their corresponding page numbers. For Dreamcast, it includes Climax Landers, which is likely Time Stalkers, Godzilla Generations, July, Kikakai Sekai Evolution, which is likely Evolution, The World of Sacred Device, Sega Rally 2 Feet, Sonic Adventure, Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Blue Stinger, Project Berkeley, which became Shenmue, Pen Pen Triathlon, and Marionette Handler. For Sega Saturn software, it lists Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Genteiban, Wizardry, Labyrinth of Lost Souls, Etude Prologue, Girl Doll Toy, Kiss Yori, Kari, 6-inch Medane, Cotton Boomerang, Sakura Taizen, Imperial Capital Dramatic Troupe, Sankyo Fever, Jitsuki Simulation S Volume 3, Season, Shining Force 2I, Scenario 123 Feet. Oh no! Troupe. It's an ogre, All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua. The index also lists general content sections like Weekly News Landmark, Weekly Data Station, Dreamcast Software Review, Reader Submission Corner Guru Powers, Habit Bad Ending, Samsung Yoshimatsu Theater, Kazuya Kiriyama's Game Industry Special Scoop Ring, Dreamcast Magazine Cinema Guide, River Black and White Ore, Bamboo Forest Hot Springs Iroiro Sugasuku, Dreamcast Now, Sunnyside SNK, Arcade Express Ganbard 2, Hello Capcom, AM12 Research Flatout, Beat the Spike Out, Hagasaki Meiko's Week. This page is an advertisement for a Dreamcast Magazine anniversary campaign, celebrating its 4th issue with a super big present giveaway. A variety of Dreamcast prizes are offered, including 100 visual memory units, 30 racing controllers recommended for games like Sega Rally 2, 30 arcade sticks, and 20 Dreamcast keyboards. 30 people can win Dreamcast software. Exclusive merchandise is also up for grabs, such as 10 Spike Out t-shirts and 10 Virtua Fighter 3 TB t-shirts. Finally, there are telephone cards featuring game artwork, with 50 each for Sonic Adventure, Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Sega Rally 2, and Rent-A-Hero No. 2, although the Rent-A-Hero No 2 inches card is still in production at the time of this advert. This page showcases a reader prize giveaway from Dreamcast Magazine. There's a Justice Gakuen, Rival Schools, jersey tracksuit for one lucky winner. Perfect for showing your fighting game spirit. Also up for grabs is a Langrisser telephone card set featuring beautiful artwork from the strategy RPG series, a set of Super Robot Wars DX figures for robot anime fans, and a Baroque t-shirt for fans of the unique and surreal RPG. 3 readers can win Grandia telephone cards featuring art from the beloved RPG Grandia. A single lucky person can get a signed autograph board from Koji Hayama, likely a prominent figure in the game industry at the time. For music lovers, there's a Virtual Call S soundtrack, likely a Saturn title, and a Real Mahjong Adventure, Umi-e Summer Waltz poster, another Saturn game, possibly a relaxing summer-themed Mahjong adventure. Moving on. 3 people can win Rururu no Yuki original photo stand clips, yet another Saturn visual novel prize. 3 more can win Pia Carrot Iu Koso clear files from the popular visual novel series. A Danju Feveron t-shirt, based on the Psikyo arcade shooter ported to Saturn, is available for 1 winner. Finally, there are telephone cards for Sengoku Turb, a Saturn fighting game, Power Stone, the Dreamcast Arena Fighter, Pentathlon, seemingly a Dreamcast Magazine-themed card, and Blue Stinger, the survival horror action game on Dreamcast. It's a diverse collection of prizes for Dreamcast and Saturn fans. This page is a prize giveaway section from the magazine. There's a Super Dimension Fortress Macross strap being offered to 20 winners, featuring iconic mecha designs. 1 lucky person can win a Capcom Generations 13 software set, which includes classic Capcom arcade games. A Super Famicom QQ special set is also up for grabs for a single winner, featuring strange and humorous merchandise. 3 people can win Baroque phone cards, showing art from the atmospheric and surreal action RPG. Kion Bunny Extra mousepads are being given away to 3 people featuring the cute anime character. 5 people can win a Backgeiner Reviving Heroes poster showcasing the characters from the anime-inspired strategy RPG. 1 lucky music fan can win a Steep Slope Sliders music CD featuring tunes from the snowboarding game. An ESP-RA-D t-shirt with stylish artwork from the Manic Shooter is available for 1 winner. 1 person can win a limited edition copy of Pia Carrot Iu Koso, which is a dating sim game. 1 person can win the Genso Suikoden software, the popular RPG where you gather 108 allies. Finally, 5 people can win Densha de Go 2 inches fans, decorated with images from the popular train driving simulation game. Below are more phone card prizes for 50 winners each, including Climax Landers, Puyo Puyo 4, The King of Fighters 98, Shin Kishinkai Evolution, and a Samsung Yoshimoto Keiko Kizuchan card. This page is showcasing a prize giveaway for readers of the magazine. Up for grabs is the history simulation game Sakamoto Ryoma Ishin Kaikoku, where you play as historical figures. There's also a Yumanin paper bag featuring the mascot character and a Tokimeki Memorial jigsaw puzzle. Shooter fans can win a copy of Dodonpachi. The Ice Rain fans can get a sticker. A CD from the Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series, Volume 1 Rainbow-Colored Youths, is also a prize. For those into toys, there are Steve Sloper sliders, yo-yos, and Bublun money boxes, Anime fans can win a Backgainer Reviving Heroes poster. Virtual Call S clear files and Gensu Suikoden and Mitsumeti Night clear files are also available. A copy of the first edition of Hukago Renai Club Koi no Etude software and Darasoba Deluxe software are also amongst the prizes. Finally, Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2 Colorful Love Song software is also offered as a prize. This page is a promotional advertisement for the Dreamcast console release. It's titled Dreamcast One Night Stand Information and highlights that the launch is just 1 week away. The feature is aimed at providing essential information to both those who pre-ordered and those who didn't, covering topics like where to buy, what to buy, and purchase plans. It promises in-depth coverage on peripherals and Dreamcast communication methods within a 6-page spread to prepare readers for the November 27th release date. The tagline humorously states, pre-release final information, one night stand but not overnight roasting, suggesting the information is fresh and exciting, not old news. Trying to buy a Dreamcast without a pre-order is difficult. A survey checked different stores for availability on launch day. Department stores have limited stock and are mostly pre-order only, offering a low 10% chance. General toy stores are worse at 5%. Mass retailers are slightly better at 15%. TV game chain stores are more promising at 40%, with some still taking pre-orders. Surprisingly, convenience stores using the DigiCube system are the best bet at 70% chance and are still taking reservations until December 22nd. For those without pre-orders, convenience stores using DigiCube offer the highest likelihood of securing a Dreamcast on launch day. This page introduces the Dreamcast's peripherals, showcasing the visual memory and Dreamcast controller. The visual memory is highlighted as a compact, feature-rich device essential for saving game data, but it also works as a standalone portable gaming device. When plugged into the Dreamcast controller, it functions as a personal monitor, displaying in-game information. Screenshots illustrate this with games like Godzilla Generations and Pen Pen Triicelon, showing game menus and character selection screens on the VM display. The visual memory is emphasized for its data management capabilities, serving as a communication tool to exchange data with other VMs, and enabling features for connecting arcade and home console experiences. The Dreamcast controller is described as having a rounded, ergonomic design for comfortable handling, equipped with an analog stick, a directional pad, A, B, X, Y face buttons, and rear trigger buttons. It also features 2 expansion slots for accessories like the visual memory, allowing it to be used as an integrated screen on the controller. This page showcases the Dreamcast arcade stick and Dreamcast keyboard peripherals. The arcade stick, priced at 5,800 yen, was released on November 27th and is designed to replicate the feel of an arcade joystick with its 6-button layout. A Virtua Fighter player named Mantha Satan Shark is quoted, stating that you absolutely need 2 of these for the best experience. The arcade stick also features a VM slot for data saving. Moving on to the Dreamcast keyboard, also released on November 27th and priced at 4,500 yen, it's highlighted for efficient text input, particularly for email, although availability may be limited. The page notes that while the keyboard is out, a Dreamcast mouse is sadly not yet available for purchase, but is something to look forward to in the future. A list of other upcoming peripherals is also included, such as the Dreamcast Stereo AV cable, Dreamcast S terminal cable, Dreamcast RGB cable, Dreamcast modular cable, Dreamcast steering controller, racing controller coming in January 99, Dreamcast fishing controller, fishing pad, and Dreamcast VGA box, both planned for release within 99, a rumble pack, Puru pack, microphone and device, likely a modem. Finally, the page recommends that among the peripherals being released at the same time as the Dreamcast, the visual memory is an essential purchase for saving game data, and advises considering peripheral purchases strategically alongside the console itself. This page is an introductory guide to Dreamcast online connectivity, focusing on setting up the Dreamcast for internet access. It highlights that connecting to the internet with the Dreamcast is simple, and it details Step 1, which is about checking the location of the modular jack, which is needed to connect the Dreamcast to the telephone line. The page emphasizes confirming the presence of a modular jack and advises consulting NTT if you are unsure. It also mentions the costs associated with online use, including connection fees and call charges, detailing different pricing for daytime and nighttime use. It features screenshots of the Dreamcast Dream Passport interface with icons for internet, game information, email, chat/bulletin board, user registration, recommended, options, and full screen. The guide aims to make online connectivity accessible, even for beginners. This guide, Dreamcast Nighttime News, details connecting a Dreamcast to a modular cable for online features. Step 2 outlines 3 connection methods. Method A uses a splitter for simultaneous phone and Dreamcast connection, offering convenience but requiring setup and potential call drops. Method B directly connects the Dreamcast to the phone jack. Simple but necessitates constant reconnection for phone use. Method C uses a phone's extra modular jack, like fax phones. Ideal for its simplicity, but limited to specific phones, and prone to call drops. A 5-meter modular cable is recommended. Step 3 addresses calls during online play. Regular calls are impossible during Dreamcast use, and call waiting is discouraged. Solutions include Catch Phone 2, which forwards calls to a message center for a 500 yen monthly fee, or using ISDN lines for simultaneous voice and data. Finally, it notes Dreamcast Passport's HTML 3.2 compatibility for browsing and email viewing via visual memory, allowing use of existing internet accounts. This page is a special feature titled Countdown to Dreamcast, which is an interview with Kunihisa Ueno from Sega's Dreamcast business department. The interview discusses the Dreamcast launch strategy, software release plans, and the reasons behind game delays. It mentions that due to NEC chip supply issues, the Dreamcast console production was impacted, leading to a revised software release schedule. Titles like Sega Rally 2 Inches are mentioned as being scheduled for launch alongside the console, with other titles planned for Christmas and the New Year period. The interview touches on concerns about the launch titles and sales strategies to overcome any initial anxieties. The page features a screenshot of a racing game, which appears to be Sega Rally 2. The text alongside the screenshot discusses the game being delayed by about a month and a half to improve the online communication environment, aiming for a more comfortable online experience, and expresses anticipation for the final product. This page features a special interview with Kunio Ueno about the Dreamcast, focusing on topics prior to its release. The first point of discussion is the Dreamcast Point System, a new feature where purchasing software accumulates points redeemable for various services. The interview then moves to the communication features of the Dreamcast, emphasizing its network capabilities using telephone lines and modem jacks. There's a discussion about the network infrastructure and speed, acknowledging potential challenges. The topic of TV commercials is covered next, mentioning that the development of these commercials has been adjusted and delayed based on the availability of the Dreamcast console itself. It's mentioned that commercials featuring Yoji Yamada and Hideki Yukawa were produced, and future commercials are also planned. Finally, the interview touches upon Sonic Adventure. It acknowledges the game's release being delayed by a week, but expresses excitement for its launch. Furthermore, there is a discussion about measures being taken to address adult content online, including parental controls and managing online message boards. The next page is a news topic about Sega and its president, Iramajiri. It details his speech at the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan on November 10th, where he discussed Sega's challenges and strategies for the 21st century. He emphasized his background from Honda and how his Formula One experience shaped his approach to Sega, focusing on a winning spirit and learning from past mistakes. He presented the Dreamcast as Sega's response to the future, combining cutting-edge technology, digitalization, and network capabilities. The page also features the heading Dreamcast Magazine Weekly News and mentions dates from November 20th to November 26th, indicating a weekly news section. Dreamcast was presented at the FCC Professional Luncheon, emphasizing its winning spirit, user-friendliness, and global appeal, with the president calling it a dream machine. Joydopolis announced Christmas and New Year events, including a white Christmas tree for couples, adult chance of meeting events, chance of Xmas presents, treasure hunts, and holiday night special events with jazz and comedy. An advent calendar lottery offered prizes including Dreamcast consoles. Dreamcast commercials began airing, starting with a cinematic-style ad for Sonic Adventure. A series of commercials for 7 key titles, such as Virtua Fighter 3 TB, featuring boxer Don Nakaya Nielsen losing to Akira, and July, promoted with movie-themed screensavers distributed online and in magazines, were also planned. Moonlight, known for RPGs like Lunar and Grandia, seeks new scenario writers for a major project, welcoming enthusiastic individuals even without experience. A Gundam specialty shop, Gundam Ya, has opened in Chiba, offering models, kits, and events, with the 1/60th perfect grade Gundam arriving soon. Taisho Roman Hall is selling limited edition Sakura-themed Christmas ornaments at Ikebukuro Gi-Gyo until December 20th. Presto announced spring releases, including Galaxy Express 999 and Gundam figures in convenience stores and game centers. Lastly, Fujisaki Shiori from Tokimeki Memorial is getting an OVA adaptation by Studio Pierrot, with presentation events planned. Konami's Komaruku character goods store is also expanding to Tokyo and Sendai, with opening events. This page details announcements and music releases. Sega prize goods featuring Yu Suzuki are being showcased, including plush toys and Dreamcast merchandise like cushions and t-shirts. There is also a call for testers for the Windows version of the network game Lunatic Dawn 2i by ArtDink, with applications due by December 4th. It's mentioned that the Neo Geo Pocket has won the Good Design Award. In music releases, there's Yutaka Ozaki's album Rainbow, Polydoll's All I Need, featuring the debut song R Unning Over M, Mariko Ide's third single album Wind and Together, Feel's album Love Illusion with their tour and upcoming fourth single, and Naoko Ijima's first album Blonde, meaning Women Who Continue to Shine. Lastly, Maria Takeuchi's new single Everlasting, a love song, is also announced. At the bottom, there are instructions for applying for magazine presents. This page showcases the anticipated Dreamcast titles in a ranking format. Grandia 2 takes the top spot, highlighted for its impressive lighting and graphical presentation. Virtua Fighter 3 TB is in second place and is only 1 week away from release, emphasizing the excitement for its imminent arrival. Sega Rally 2 secures third place, with praise for its continued improvements in the racing genre. The weekly pickup spotlights Marionette Handler, a title that is described as being for mania attention, hinting at its complex robot combat and deep customization options. Godzilla Generations, ranked at 24th, is also nearing release. The article mentions game details, developer interviews, and even information about the Godzilla movie, Musura 3. The page also includes a ranking table from 4th to 30th place, listing games like Sonic Adventure, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Virtua on Oratorio Tangram, D2, Shenmue referred to as Project Berkeley, King of Fighters 99, Puyo Puyo N, Mobile Suit Gundam, J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, Blue Stinger, Psychic Force 2012, Kita E, White Illumination, Get Base, Power Stone, Pro Yaku Team Otsukuru, Climax Landers, Melty-Lancer Rebirth, Akihabara Denugumi Patapis, Sengoku Turb, Geist Force, Giant Gram 2000, July, Monaco Grand. Brief mentions are given to J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru, at 12th place, noting its popularity and promising future updates, and Get Bass at 17th place, focusing on its virtual fishing experience and communication features. This page presents 2 game rankings. The first is the Porting Wish Top 20, a reader's poll of games they want to see on Dreamcast. Top of this list is the Sakura Wars series, followed by Street Fighter 03 and Virtua Striker 2 version 98. Other notable games in the top 20 include Knights, Soul Calibur, Metal Gear Solid, Daytona USA 2 Battle on the Edge, Chuku Senki Kakayo, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Black Matrix. The page notes that Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest are declining in popularity in this ranking and wonders about future trends. The second ranking is the Video Game Income Ranking Top 15 Inches, showing popular arcade games. Virtua Striker 2, version 98 is at the top, followed by Virtua Fighter 3 TB, and Cybertroopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. Other games in the top 15 include Street Fighter 03, The King of Fighters 98, Soul Calibur, Beatmania 3rd Mix, Tekken 3, Spike Out, and Daytona USA 2 Battle on the Edge. The weekly pickup section highlights the upcoming arcade release of Gunbird 2 in November, praising its shooting gameplay and new features. There is also a Coming Soon section discussing Daytona USA 2 Battle on the Edge, mentioning its Model 3 Step 2 arcade board, and teasing new information. It notes that Daytona 2 is holding a strong position in rankings, and that a Dreamcast version is planned for release early next year. This page is a release schedule for Dreamcast games and hardware. It lists upcoming software releases from November 1998 to undecided release date, and also details hardware peripherals. For software, November 1998 sees releases like Godzilla Generations, Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Pen Pen Tri-Isolon, and July. December includes Incoming, 7th Cross Evolution, Sonic Adventure, and Kishin World Evolution. January 1999 features Senkoku Turb, Sega Rally 2 Feet, Blue Stinger, Climax Landers, and Speedbusters. February 1999 has Kanto Horse Racing Association, special tie-up digital horse racing newspaper. Kita E, white illumination. Aerodancing featuring Blue Impulse. And Get Bass. March 1999 includes Cho Hamaru Golf, Cool Borders, and Puyo Puyo N. There are also games listed for 99 Spring, 99 Year End, 99 Year Inside, and release date undecided, including titles like Rental Bukashot Mariota, Space Griffon, Little Dream, Raymond 2 Feet, Nijiro Tenshi, Geist Force, D no Shokutaku 2 Feet, Akihabara Denu Gumi Patapais, and J-League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru. The genre and compatibility are noted for each game, and prices are given for some releases. The hardware section details Dreamcast peripherals launching on November 27th, such as the Dreamcast console itself, arcade stick, terminal cable, keyboard, controller, stereo AV cable, and vibration pack, along with the visual memory. Prices for these peripherals are also listed. Finally, other related products mentions Masura Dream Battle and Gamera Dream Battle handheld games, noting they use visual memory and are the second and third installments respectively in their series. Two games slated for November 27th release are reviewed. Virtua Fighter 3 TB, a 12-player 3D fighting game priced at 5,800 yen, received a perfect 10 out of 10 score. Reviewers lauded it as a flawless arcade port with exceptional visuals and CD quality sound, surpassing console expectations and showcasing Dreamcast's potential. Praised for its depth and nuanced gameplay, it's considered a must-buy, even for non-fans. July, a single-player apocalyptic suspense adventure, also costing 5,800 yen, received a 5.6610 score. While appreciated for its atmospheric, story-driven nature and zapping system, some found it dated for a 3D system, criticizing its slow pace and gameplay. Opinions are mixed, with some enjoying the scenario, while others were underwhelmed by its presentation and Dreamcast utilization. One reviewer humorously mentioned the difficulty of pre-ordering the Dreamcast, wanting to play Virtua Fighter. This page features Dreamcast software reviews, showcasing 3 titles. First up is Godzilla Generations, an action game where reviewers enjoyed the simple act of destruction and feeling like Godzilla as they rampaged through cities, awarding it a score of 8 out of 10. Next is Pen Pen Tri Isolon, a racing action game described as fun and easy to control with depth, featuring diverse courses and charming characters. This game received a score of 8 out of 10. Finally, there's a review for the Dreamcast arcade stick, praised for bringing the arcade experience home with its high quality and reasonable price, also scoring an 8 out of 10. All 3 items are noted as releasing on November 27th. This page is a Dreamcast software review special. First up is Godzilla Generations, with the reviewer Takemoto Izumi finding it incredibly enjoyable, emphasizing the city destruction and simple controls, even mentioning Fukuoka Dome. Next, Something Yoshimatsu reviews Pen Pen Tri Isolon, noting its surprising and unique world, different from typical N64 games despite its cute appearance. He highlights the character animations and gives it a 7 out of 10, mentioning team battles are possible. Ikebukuro Sera reviews Virtua Fighter 3 TB, expressing surprise at the perfect arcade port, impressed by the 60 frames per second, detailed graphics, and smooth animations. They highly recommend it to arcade fans. Kaku Tetsuya also reviews Virtua Fighter 3 TB and echoes similar sentiments, not expecting such a faithful port and praising the development team. He was initially concerned about the frame rate and graphical details, but is amazed at the faithful recreation. The page also showcases the Dreamcast controller and visual memory, both launching on November 27th for 2,500 yen. The controller is described as having 4 buttons, an analog stick, and L and R triggers, designed for ease of use for home gaming. The visual memory has 128 kilobytes of memory, 200 blocks, an LCD screen, buttons, and a connector, allowing for data management and exchange, with ample space for saved data. Both are stated as being at 100% completion for the sample. This page is an advertisement for the official guide for Cybertroopers Virtual Oratorio Tangram. It highlights that the guidebook will teach players the basic tactics of Virtual Lebanon and is aimed at players of all levels. The guide will cover all 11 playable mecha, including their controls, tactics, and the game system, and will also include basic tactics for CPU battles. It also mentions that player character AJIM actions and attacks will be covered, and that the book will feature an interview with Virtual On producer Juro Watari. The guide is priced at 1,500 yen and is scheduled for release in late November. This page is a special report announcing Suzuki Yu's latest work, Project Berkeley, which is for the Dreamcast and has been in development for 3 years. The tagline is, "Character life is breathed into," and it's described as full reactive eyes entertainment. There's a Christmas present campaign for readers, where 500 Dreamcast Magazine readers can win a special Project Berkeley tentative Christmas card. The deadline to apply is December 4th. The article highlights the advanced 3D modeling used in Project Berkeley, showcasing mysterious stone statues that are said to be the basis for the in-game 3D characters. It mentions that the detailed expressions of these stone statues are prototypes for the 3D models, constructed with wireframes and designed to be rendered as 3D models in the game. It also mentions that the unveiling of these stone statues marks a significant step in revealing the game to the public, and that the quality of the modeling is so detailed, it makes you wonder if such detailed models can move in a game. It emphasizes the potential of Project Berkeley to push boundaries beyond current Dreamcast titles, especially for fans of Virtua Fighter. Project Berkeley, later known as Shenmue, is presented as Yu Suzuki's ambitious project after a 15-year career at Sega. A promotional disc featured Suzuki discussing this project, which followed his early successes. Joining Sega in 1983, Suzuki quickly led the development of Hang On, a risky motion simulator arcade game that became a hit and introduced a body sensation experience. He then created hits like Space Harrier, Outrun, and Afterburner. Suzuki's character modeling begins with Form. A clay bust, gifted to the Smithsonian, illustrates this. After the lengthy development of Virtua Fighter 3, his new project emerged. A visit to Suzuki's office revealed items like a motion capture helmet and a stone statue, hinting at the game's secrets and scale. This statue, a familiar office fixture for 2 years, exemplified Suzuki's dedication and ambition, as he aimed to capture its life-size form within Project Berkeley, underscoring the project's grand scope. This page previews Project Berkeley, which we now know as Shenmue, highlighting the game's character creation process. The article discusses how the team moved from initial 2D concept sketches to creating detailed clay sculptures, which were then scanned into 3Ds to ensure accuracy in the game models. It emphasizes the meticulous approach taken by Yu Suzuki and his team over 3 years of development. 2 characters have been revealed for Project Berkeley, and the game is said to evoke a continental romance atmosphere. The next issue promises the official title reveal. The page also mentions a female stone statue related to the game being displayed in Yu Suzuki's office, and that further details can be found on the VF3TB special disc. This page is a preview for Sonic Adventure, an action game for the Sega Dreamcast, scheduled for release on December 23rd for 5,800 yen and is VMS compatible. The page highlights the countdown to release, noting it's just 4 weeks away. The feature focuses on the confrontation between Sonic and Dr. Eggman, titled Sonic vs. Eggman Fate Showdown. It describes Eggman's plan and his determination to attack Sonic himself, hinting at the continuing Chaos Emerald storyline. Another section introduces Tails Factory, located in the Adventure Field Mystic Ruins, describing it as a factory on the coast with good access to transport. A new section announces the start of TV commercials for Sonic Adventure, mentioning there are 7 different Eggman patterns in the commercials and encouraging viewers to check them all out. The page includes screenshots of in-game action. This page highlights Sonic Adventure, showcasing Eggman's new weapon, the Egg Hornet, and his boss battle tactics. It mentions Eggman piloting the Egg Hornet, which is a round mech in the style of his previous designs but can transform into a jet type. The page emphasizes Eggman's confidence and enjoyment in battling Sonic, even with his robots. The article poses the question of whether Sonic can withstand Eggman's fierce attacks. It describes Eggman waiting for Tails and launching relentless attacks using the Chaos Emeralds. 2 attack types are detailed: missiles, described as a barrage like napalm bombs, and a charge attack. The article also notes Eggman's intention to obtain the Chaos Emeralds by any means necessary, mentioning Sonic, Amy's bird, Big the Cat's frog, and even Knuckles as targets of Eggman's plans, suggesting varied gameplay elements and interactions with different characters. This page is a Dreamcast special report focusing on Sonic Adventure's Mystic Ruins stage. The article highlights the Mystic Ruins as a vast natural area, a stark contrast to the urban station square, and accessible by train. It's described as a holy ground filled with ruins and caves. The page shows a map of the adventure fields, including locations like Windy Valley, Ice Cap, Station Square, Casino Polis, Speed Highway, Emerald Coast, and Twinkle Park. There's also a mention of a minecart section, comparing it to Indiana Jones, suggesting adventurous exploration within the area. The article also points out that Tails' workshop and Big's house are located in this field. Interestingly, it questions if Angel Island from Sonic 3 will also be accessible in Sonic Adventure, recalling a scene in commercials where a giant island falls. Finally, the page details the player and cow affinity system. It explains how chow emotions change based on player interaction, describing 3 states. Nakayoshi, friendly, where chow are amicable and might offer items. Yancha, mischievous, where chow become aggressive and might throw stones. And Osumashi, docile, which is described as the normal, baseline state of chow. This page introduces the Windy Valley Zone in Sonic Adventure. It highlights Windy Valley as a mysterious location known for its constantly blowing wind, which causes frequent weather changes and tornadoes. The page emphasizes how the wind affects gameplay, making movement challenging but also offering opportunities. It explains how players can use the wind to their advantage, like utilizing springs to cross gaps and finding wind loops in empty spaces for unique movement. The page also briefly mentions chow and their individual personalities that differ from one another. This page announces a special report from Micronet. The announcement took place on November 11th in Sapporo at Micronet's headquarters. The event was for the 3D Atelier 2.5 version announcement, and also revealed a new Dreamcast title. The text states that a demo movie was shown featuring Age of a Dreamcast title. The new title being announced is Marionette Handler. The images show scenes from the event with presentations and attendees. This page highlights Micronet's games for the Dreamcast. Featured are 3 titles. Wings of the Azure Sky Gotha World for Sega Saturn and PlayStation, a war simulation game released in November and December of 1997. EOS, Edge of Sky High for PlayStation, a 3D shooting game where you pilot transforming robots, released in July 1997. And Virtual Mahjong 2i for Sega Saturn and Arcade STV, a 4-player mahjong game featuring polygonal characters, released in March and December of 1998. The page also introduces 3D Atelier, a 3D graphics tool for Windows designed for creating characters and mecha like those seen in games. It's described as user-friendly and reasonably priced, capable of 3D CG animation. The lower portion of the page features a large image and the title Handler, presumably another game, although details are not immediately clear from this page excerpt. This page showcases Marionette Handler, a programming robot battle game in development by Micronet for the Dreamcast. It is described as a network-focused title, where players pre-program their robots' actions, emphasizing strategic gameplay and mind games between opponents. The game utilizes Micronet's 3D Atelier graphics tool, promising detailed robot designs. The game's release date and price are yet to be determined. The game story is set in 2053, following large-scale wars, where humanity has expanded into space and resolved energy issues. Resource outposts have evolved into large cities, gaining autonomy. Earth, once self-centered, now collaborates with other space nations, establishing a joint defense force. Research into AI combat, specifically the MuCam project, was underway but suspended after a programming bug incident in 2089. However, by 2090, tournaments featuring small robots equipped with Marionette AI are becoming popular, suggesting this game is set within that context. Screenshots illustrate the 3D robots and a programming interface, hinting at the gameplay mechanics. The Marionette Handler MH system for Dreamcast emphasizes online play, net navigation, and time-sensitive in-game events, time-linked events, influencing gameplay with elements like time-of-day specific robots. Battles occur in full 3D with diverse robots and aerial combat. Battles in full 3D space. Players can use an editor for programming like robot instruction, though direct control during battles is absent. Editing functions with editor. Developers aim for a fresh atmosphere and realistic robot presence through Dreamcast's 3D capabilities. Takahashi D. Detailed mecha tuning and customization are central, with a focus on maintenance and repair, creating a casual mecha tinkering experience. Sato. Unique and advanced robot designs, including non-humanoid types, are planned with high polygon counts for detailed armor and motion. Fukui. This page is dedicated to Virtua Fighter 3 TB on Dreamcast, proclaiming it as the must-have first software release for the console. The article highlights that this special 34-page feature will deeply explore this powerful title, promising to reveal everything about the Dreamcast version of Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It mentions that all 12 characters' move lists are included, making it a comprehensive guide. The text emphasizes the game's origins as a groundbreaking Model 3 arcade title that revolutionized 3D fighting games, and how this latest iteration, Virtua Fighter 3 TB, is playable on the Dreamcast. The article suggests that even beginners can enjoy the game by learning the basics against the CPU, and points out the fun of the unique camera angle change function. Screenshots showcase in-game action and the character select screen featuring fighters like Jeffrey, Lion, Akira, Wolf, Agoi, and Pi. This page is the contents page for a 34-page special feature dedicated to Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It highlights key aspects of the game to be covered, including new game modes for the Dreamcast version, an analysis of the 3 TB system aimed at beginners, and in-depth character strategies and move lists for all 12 characters. The contents are broken down into 3 parts, covering game modes, system explanation, and character command lists. The characters featured are Akira, Pi, LeBeau, Wolf, Jeffrey, Kage, Sarah, Jackie, Shundi, Lion, Ameoi, and Takarashi. The game is set to be released by Sega on November 27th for 5,800 yen, and is a 3D fighting action game on 2 discs, utilizing 12 blocks of visual memory. This page is focused on the Dreamcast version of Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It highlights the game as a consumer version that expands on the arcade experience, offering various game modes right from the start, including Team Battle. The page details several modes. Team Battle, where you fight with teams of characters. Training mode for practicing commands. Normal mode for standard one-on-one fights. And VS Records to track player statistics. It also breaks down the How to Play section, explaining elements visible on the game screen during a match such as health gauge, time limit, character/team display, set count, match elapsed time, and round display. The page further elaborates on win conditions, like KO, ring out, time over, and draw. Finally, it mentions some check points for the Dreamcast version, focusing on hidden elements like hidden victory poses, alphabet character appearance, command input display, and the inclusion of the Iron Throw move. These features are presented as enhancements for the home console version. Characters like Jacket, Gown, and Bay are mentioned in relation to the hidden victory poses, and the alphabet characters, Akira, Rao, and Pi, are discussed as being playable in the home version, accessible through specific button combinations at character select. The Iron Throw move is also highlighted as being brought over from the arcade version. This page serves as a guide to Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle on the Dreamcast, detailing game modes and basic controls. The History mode is presented as a movie appreciation feature for the Virtua Fighter series, showcasing CG movies. The Option mode explains customizable settings like match points, difficulty, time limits, stage selection, energy recovery, and ranking modes. The Operations section illustrates the Dreamcast controller and arcade stick layouts, explaining button functions for punch, guard, kick, escape, combos, and commands. It also highlights hidden stage elements, such as snowballs in Shun's stage, and fire effects in Jackie's stage, described as playfulness within the stages. A key feature of the Dreamcast version is emphasized: the ability to choose between 3 TB, and Dural stages at will. This page is a guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB, focusing on movement and evasion techniques, presented as Lesson 1. Movement and Evasion. It details the new Escape button, E button, and how it enhances movement options in the game, moving away from linear fights into a 3D space. The guide breaks down different movement types using the E button and directional inputs, explaining how to walk, dash, crouch, crouch dash, back roll, turn around, move to the back of the screen, and move to the front of the screen. It also explains the advantages and disadvantages of using the Escape button for evasion, noting its weakness against throws and linear attacks. The page emphasizes the importance of positioning and stance during fights, detailing orthodox stance and reverse stance. It provides tips on when to evade to the side or towards the back of the opponent, depending on the situation. It also lists special moves like switch step and yokozuna stance as unique character actions. Essentially, this is an introductory lesson to the enhanced movement system in Virtua Fighter 3 TB, showcasing how the new escape button adds depth and strategic options to combat. This lesson focuses on strike techniques in Virtua Fighter 3 TB, categorizing attacks into high, medium, low, down, turning, and back attacks, each with unique attributes. High attacks are standard punches, and high kicks for standing opponents. Medium attacks, the core moves, hit standing foes but can be crouch guarded. Low attacks target the legs and require crouching to defend. Down attacks target downed opponents. Turning and back attacks are performed while turned or from behind. Specific situation attacks, like Akira's command input, Ryuko Gahuzan, and Jackie's crouch-initiated slant back knuckle, are also highlighted. Combination attacks and delays are explained using Jackie's combo knuckle rose spin kick. Virtua Fighter 3 TB introduces evasive moves like leaning, crouching, and turning to avoid hits. The lesson emphasizes changing an opponent's stance with strikes, and briefly covers stun stop and guard break for interrupting attacks and breaking guards. The next page continues the Virtua Fighter 3 TB Strategy Guide, focusing on throwing and counter techniques in Lessons 3 and 4. Lesson 3, titled Throwing Techniques, explains the variety of throws available, including throws from different stances and situations, like upper-level throws, lower-level throws, side throws, back throws, wall throws, and down throws. It details the command inputs for initiating throws, generally lever plus P plus G or P plus K plus G, and also explains how to escape throws by inputting the throw command at the right time. It provides examples like the giant swing and knee strike, and the timing for throw escapes, which is within 10 frames of the opponent's throw input. Lesson 4, titled Reversal Techniques and Defensive Techniques, focuses on countering and defensive play. It describes how to anticipate opponents' attacks and use reversal techniques, highlighting that successful reversals create significant openings for attack. It mentions the timing for reversal inputs is between 920 frames from the start of the opponent's attack motion, requiring anticipation and reading the opponent's moves. The page also shows how reversal techniques can be combined with throw escapes to create advantageous situations. This page is a lesson about the guard button in Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It explains that unlike other games, in Virtua Fighter, you need to press the guard button to defend against attacks, not just hold back on the stick. The lesson details the different types of guards, like standing guard, crouching guard, and lower guard, and which attacks they can block effectively. Standing guard blocks high and middle attacks, but not low attacks or throws. Crouching guard blocks high and low attacks, but leaves you vulnerable to throws. Lower guard is for blocking low attacks. The article mentions that throws cannot be blocked. It also discusses special cases like guard breaks and unblockable moves, and how the guard button can be used for more than just defense, including canceling dashes and special moves. The next page delves into Virtua Fighter 3 TB, offering gameplay lessons. Lesson 6 focuses on getting up techniques, explaining how to rise after being knocked down. It highlights that getting up is a critical offensive moment for players, even in a vulnerable state. The lesson details various get-up methods, including standing straight up, crouching get-up, sideways get-up, head spring get-up, forward roll get-up, and backward roll get-up. It also covers different get-up attacks like mid-level and low-level kicks, emphasizing choosing the right get-up attack based on distance and opponent positioning. Lesson 7 explores the effectiveness of counterattacks. It defines a counter as hitting an opponent during their attack startup, resulting in higher damage. The page details advanced counter techniques such as countering with a punch throw, aerial combo counters, escape counters, quick spot counters, and hardening counters, demonstrating how to exploit openings and turn defense into offense with precise timing. This page is a lesson page from Dreamcast Magazine focused on Virtua Fighter 3 TB, diving into advanced gameplay mechanics. Lesson 8 explains hardening time and reversal techniques, detailing how to effectively use counterattacks after blocking. It breaks down reversal techniques into strike attacks and throw attacks, explaining the principles behind them. Section A covers the attacker's hardening time and Section B discusses the defender's hardening time after guarding an opponent's attack. Screenshots featuring Jackie and Lowell from Virtua Fighter 3 TB illustrate these concepts. Lesson 9 moves on to understanding angulation, specifically in aerial combos within Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It explains how the high-low difference affects combos, showing how the character's vertical position influences attack effectiveness. The page uses screenshots to demonstrate these angulation principles and how they impact combo execution in Virtua Fighter 3 TB. This page delves into Akira Yuki from Virtua Fighter 3 TB, highlighting his unique fighting style that mixes small, pressuring techniques with powerful strikes. The article emphasizes pushing the opponent with quick moves to set up devastating big attacks. It points out Akira's strength lies in his strong striking and numerous throwing techniques, which are reassuring in a fight. However, it notes his weakness against opponents who are good at escaping. The page showcases several of Akira's representative moves, giving command inputs and descriptions of their properties. His profile details him as a kung fu teacher from Japan, born in 1968, with hobbies in kung fu and training. The stage featured is the gymnasium, Yuki's martial arts hall. There's also a section checking when to best use throws, suggesting using throws after forcing a guard break or when the opponent is vulnerable. Finally, it distinguishes between throws that are safe even if escaped, and those that can leave you open to counterattacks if they are evaded. The next page is a comprehensive guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB on the Dreamcast. It presents basic combat strategies, emphasizing the importance of utilizing the Oki Punch and Niri Headbutt techniques. A detailed move list is included, outlining move names, command inputs, attack properties, and additional notes. The guide further illustrates representative and fundamental combos that can be executed both on the ground and in mid-air. In the voice players section, London Kobayashi shares his thoughts on the game. Finally, a one-point tip is provided, focusing on the effective use of the Iron Mountain Lean move. This page is a strategy guide for Pai Chan in Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle. It details her fighting style, emphasizing speed and exploiting openings in opponents' defenses. The guide includes her profile with details like her birthday, blood type, and fighting style, and showcases various techniques with button inputs and explanations of their use, such as the Lishan Zhang and flying swallow kick. It also highlights the roof stage, noting its unique angled terrain and how it affects gameplay and combos. The guide provides gameplay tips like maximizing speed, exploiting counterattacks, and cautions about aerial combos against Pei. This Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle Guide covers all 12 characters, emphasizing strategic timing and opponent reaction. It details standard tactics, focusing on combo initiations with quick high attacks or middle kicks for crouching opponents. Examples include punch to middle kick to thunder strike or transitioning to a throw after a middle kick. Linkage techniques, both representative and ground-based involving throws and spin kicks, are highlighted as essential. Aerial techniques are also explained, such as high kick to rolling body blow and utilizing double spin kicks against low aerial attacks. Pai Chan describes her fast offensive style, while the one-point section advises against overusing thunder strikes, recommending varied attacks like jump punches to counter predictable strategies and blocked low attacks. This page is dedicated to Lao Chan in Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It introduces Lao as a master of Tiger Mantis First Kenpo, highlighting his aggressive style and strong rush attacks that can lead to ringouts. The page features Lao's profile, noting he's from China, born in 1940, works as a cook, and enjoys Chinese chess and statues. Gameplay tips emphasize using a variety of attacks and aerial combos. It details specific moves like the rising palm, turning palm leg, and ascending dragon palm, explaining their usage in combat, such as creating openings and punishing guards. The page also shows the Great Wall stage and discusses throwing techniques, advising players to use throws when opponents are guarding heavily after a series of strikes. Finally, it showcases Lao's winning poses. This page is a complete character guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB on Dreamcast. It's part 3 of a larger guide, focusing on standard tactics and move lists for players. The page starts by explaining basic battle strategies and combo techniques, emphasizing using low-risk moves to control the fight and observe the opponent's reaction after a hit. It then details specific combo setups from various starting moves, including oblique upper palm and phoenix palm strike. There's also advice on how to deal with opponents who evade straight punches, suggesting quick forward movement and mix-ups with throws and mid-level attacks. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to a move list table, detailing various attack names, command inputs, attack properties like high, mid, low, and notes for each move. This looks like a comprehensive breakdown of character moves for Virtua Fighter 3 TB. There are sections dedicated to basic combo techniques in the air, showcasing different aerial combos and their damage potential, categorized by star ratings. The page also features a player's voice section, profiling a player called Bikurao, who discusses their playstyle focusing on offense and countering defensive opponents with specific techniques like ascending dragon kick. Finally, a one-point section offers additional advice on utilizing throws and understanding the importance of guarding and recognizing openings in the opponent's defense. The page uses screenshots to illustrate the techniques and gameplay scenarios discussed. This page is dedicated to Wolf Hawkfield from Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle, highlighting him as a master of powerful wrestling techniques. It emphasizes that Wolf's strength lies in his ability to take a significant chunk of an opponent's health with just one read, combining powerful mid-level attacks and throws. The page details key strategies for using Wolf effectively, noting his strong throws like the giant swing and list lock, and his signature move, the 3TB short shoulder, a powerful mid-level attack. It also points out that while his unique moves are potent, they are generally slower to execute. The page includes Wolf's profile, listing details like his Canadian nationality, birthday in 1966, job as a lumberjack, and physical stats. It also showcases a selection of his signature moves with button inputs, such as the German suplex, lariat hammer, grizzly lariat, and screwdriver. There's a section on Wolf's winning poses and a description of the desert stage, noting its large size and lack of ringouts. Finally, it provides gameplay tips on when to use throws effectively, suggesting counterattacks against standing or crouching punches, and capitalizing on escaped or dodged attacks. It also touches upon throw escapes and counter strategies. This Virtua Fighter 3 TB guide focuses on standard tactics, divided into sections covering basic strategies, combos, move lists, and player insights. The Basic Tactics and Combos section emphasizes middle attacks and throws, recommending baiting with punches for two-hit combos like short shoulder and using screw hook to counter escapes. Dash crouching attacks / throws are suggested against dodging opponents. Representative Continuous Techniques details combos such as short shoulder, knee blast for counters, elbow bat for general counterattacks, and screw hook to grizzly lariat against crouching foes. A move list table categorizes moves by type with commands. Player's voice highlights strategies like body blow into giant swing and timed neck rolling throw from tomahawk chop, noting increased throw escapes in VF3TB. This page focuses on Jeffrey McWild from Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle, hailing him as the boastful and lively Lord of the Sea. It highlights Jeffrey's powerful attacks and aerial combos, emphasizing his ability to dominate opponents with brute force and quick moves. The page details Jeffrey's profile, revealing his Australian origins, fisherman job, and love for reggae music, alongside standard stats like height and weight. There's a section showcasing Jeffrey's victory poses with humorous captions. The island stage, set on a desert island with unique terrain features like slopes, is also described as a battle arena. The page then dives into Jeffrey's signature moves, listing techniques like the school straight, low knuckle, knee attack, and knee push, providing button inputs and brief descriptions. It explains the usage of throws, suggesting they're effective against defensive opponents and after blocking strong attacks. It further breaks down throw types, differentiating between throws that are safe from counterattacks if reversed, such as the splash mountain and body flip, and those that can lead to counterattacks upon reversal, like the double head butt and front back breaker. Finally, a key explains the button notations used for the move lists. The next page is a strategy guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB, focusing on standard tactics and move lists. It details basic combat strategies and combo examples, showcasing different techniques with accompanying screenshots. The guide explains fundamental tactics like starting moves, basic combos from standing punches, and strategies for close-range combat and dealing with crouching opponents. There is a section explaining representative continuous techniques, highlighting knee attack and knee push combos in the air, and the Kenka upper combo. The page also includes a move list table detailing various moves with their commands, attack attributes like upper, middle, and lower level attacks, and notes. Finally, there is a player's voice section featuring comments from players discussing winning strategies for the character Jeffrey in Virtua Fighter 3 TB. This article focuses on Kagemaru in Virtua Fighter 3 TB, highlighting his speed as a key strength for achieving ringouts and instilling fear in opponents. Kage's fighting style is described as beginner-friendly Kakuran style, leaf-hidden flow, encouraging aggressive play with Japanese ninjutsu. The article details representative fixed techniques, such as scattering bullet, thrust strike, jumping front kick, and ground sweep, explaining their usage in combat and combos. The castle stage is featured, noting that its small inclines influence matches and make crouching effective against mid-level attacks. Finally, the fighter check section advises utilizing throws after guarding or evading enemy attacks, with varied timing to avoid throw breaks. Basic button inputs for actions are also included. This page is a guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB, focusing on basic tactics and move lists. It emphasizes utilizing upper and middle attacks, and details basic combos for close combat situations, including punch to body blow to crouch dash, and countering with middle attacks if an opponent guards your body blow, followed by a dragon tail to knock them down. The page lists example combos for different scenarios like after evading, which involves body blow into middle punch and then dragon tail, and when body blow is guarded, suggesting counterattacks. There are sections covering representative combos, such as spin kick into flowing strike, or ground slide, middle punch into fist strike and shadow blade, and a combo starting from soaring drop, aerial attack, involving floating body blow into scattered bullet, whirlwind spin kick. The move list table details various moves, commands, attack attributes, upper, middle, lower, and notes, including basic attacks, throws, and advanced techniques. Player voice commentary from Nin Saburo discusses the strength of Kage's aerial throw and encourages advanced play, mentioning using throws with back turned and incorporating dragon tails into combos. This page is dedicated to Sarah Bryant from Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It's a character guide detailing her fighting style, which is Jeet Kune Das, and is recommended for beginners in the lightweight class. The guide highlights her fast attacks and diverse techniques, emphasizing the double joint bat move. It also provides a profile section with her personal details, like birthday, job as a college student, and hobbies. The page features a breakdown of Sarah's signature moves, including the flash piston punch, double joint bat, kickside, and others, showing the button combinations for each. It also gives advice on how to effectively use throws and what to do if a throw is broken, mentioning counters like the lightning knee smash. Finally, the guide warns about the dangers of the subway stage, highlighting the ring-out risk and the possibility of being hit by a train for massive damage. This page is a character guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It details standard tactics and combo techniques. The guide emphasizes reducing risk in combat, suggesting tactics like using the sweeper low kick and rising elbow. It outlines strategies for different situations, including after a straight lead attack, when the opponent is dodging, and for aerial combat. The page showcases representative continuous techniques and in-air continuous techniques, with image sequences illustrating moves like the rising elbow to crouching dash to rising knee double, and knee kick dragon smash cannon to small down attack. It also covers aerial combos, mentioning round kick to somersault kick or jackknife kick. A move list table provides command inputs, attack attributes, and notes for various moves. The player's voice section, titled Serato to Cha, discusses the character Sarah and her fighting style, focusing on damage accumulation and exploiting openings. The one-point section offers advice on approaching combat with speed and precision, recommending detailed and careful play. This page is about Jackie Bryant from Virtua Fighter 3 TB. The feature emphasizes Jackie's strong and varied attack style, making him a formidable character. It highlights his fighting style as orthodox, powerful, and beginner-friendly, noting his ability to control opponents with a range of techniques. The page points out three key aspects of Jackie's: his ability to disrupt the opponent's guard with diverse combinations, his powerful down attack, and a relatively small number of throw techniques. Several of Jackie's signature moves are detailed with button inputs, such as the jab stream, elbow spin kick, knuckle upper, mad dash hook, double middle kick, double low kick, knee kick, punch rose, slide storm, knee straight, thunderclap, rising tackle, diving elbow drop, and somersault kick. These descriptions outline the inputs and effects of each move. The building stage is also briefly described as the narrowest stage in the game, set on a high-rise building under construction, which presents a high risk of ring-outs in various directions. There's also a section about throwing techniques, suggesting using throws when the opponent is guarding against jab streams or upper-level rising attacks. Techniques mentioned include neck breaker and sadistic hanging knee as throws that can be countered. This page is a strategy guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB, focusing on the character Jack Molly. It details standard tactics, including basic combat strategies and combo techniques with straight punches. The guide covers utilizing two-hit attacks starting with punches, combos initiating from a squat straight, strategies against dodging opponents, and representative combo techniques including aerial and bound combos. It also features a move list table outlining various moves, their commands, attack properties, and notes. The player's voice section includes comments from players discussing their playstyles and strategies in Virtua Fighter 3. This page is all about Shundi from Virtua Fighter 3 TB, highlighting his unique drunken fighting style. The main theme is fight only thinking about drinking sock, emphasizing how drinking enhances his abilities in the game. The page gives gameplay tips focusing on using Shundi's low stance techniques and evasive movements to confuse opponents. It mentions that drinking sock allows for powerful aerial combos. There's a character profile section with details like Shundi being from China, born in 1912, a herbal doctor, and his blood type and measurements. The page showcases a selection of his special moves, labeled as representative unique techniques, with button commands and descriptions of each move, like the Rengeki, Sentai, and Getsugaken. The page also discusses the raft stage, noting its unstable nature which adds an element of randomness to fights. There's a section on throw techniques, offering advice on how to use throws effectively with Shundi, especially after guarding powerful attacks. Finally, it shows off Shundi's victory poses that can be selected after a win. This page is a strategy guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB on Dreamcast, focusing on the character Shundi. It details basic tactics, showcasing how to use moves like the Sui Pao Shao effectively at mid-range to control spacing and then capitalize with stronger attacks like the Gekaho Shao or Chao Yu Hao Sai. The guide then presents representative combo techniques categorized by stance, Chun Soku Start and Yaku Soku Start, both leading into a Chao Yu Hao Sai and Ten Hao So Kyokyaku combo, emphasizing aerial juggles. There is also a combo for when Shundi is drunk, starting with a Tenshin Enbu into an escape and Hakake, beneficial for quickly increasing his Sake level in matches. The page also features a player's voice section titled Iochi, describing a type of player who doesn't rely on frame data but plays purely on intuition and feeling, enjoying the intuitive nature of Virtua Fighter 3 TB's combat. Finally, a move list is included, detailing various attacks with their commands and properties. This Virtua Fighter 3 TB strategy guide focuses on Lion Rafale, emphasizing mid-level attacks and low baits for effective gameplay. Lion's mid-level techniques and throws are highlighted for their ease of use and ability to bypass guarding opponents, though his attacks, while having good reach, are vulnerable if guarded. The guide details representative unique techniques, such as Ku Shu Renken, Keitan Kakato, and Ban Elbow, among others, outlining their properties and uses. Victory poses and the library stage, characterized by its red carpet and varied elevations, are also mentioned. Crucially, the guide advises weakening opponents with strikes like Ban Elbow or Dandan before utilizing throws, underscoring the importance of integrating throws into combos for optimal effectiveness. This page is a guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB, focusing on basic combat strategies and combo techniques. It highlights aiming for standing kicks or sweeps as a core tactic, emphasizing the effectiveness of combining standing kicks with low attacks and throws. The guide explains basic punch combos, quick low attack combos, and combos to use after mid-level attacks. It details representative continuous techniques, combos that work after counter hits, and combos to use when anticipating low attacks. Furthermore, air combo strategies for exploiting openings are discussed. The page also presents a move list, outlining move names, command inputs, attack properties, and additional notes for each move. A player's voice section features comments from a player called Ba An Elbow, who talks about the game's combo feeling, damage, and the importance of throws, praising the game mechanics. Aoi Umeno Koji from Virtua Fighter 3 TB is an advanced, lightweight character utilizing Aikijujutsu, blending Japanese dance with elegant techniques. Her fighting style emphasizes stylish reversals, throws, and combo throws. Profile details reveal her as a Kyoto High School student born March 14, 1979, with Ikebana as a hobby, motivated to join the tournament after being impressed by Akira. Gameplay advice highlights effective throw combos targeting joints, using stopped moves to pressure opponents with upper willow stance, and exploiting her lightweight for bounce combos. Key moves like two-hit strike and Aikijutsu throw are listed. Her stage, Snowfield, features snow and water effects, shallow snow cover, a central stream, and tree fences with falling snow visuals. Effective use of throws is emphasized in the fighter check, advising players to bait guards with mid-level attacks or stopped moves, and to initiate throws after counter hits. This page is a strategy guide for Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It focuses on standard tactics and move combinations. The page details basic combat strategies, such as how to approach fights using punches, middle attacks, throws, and downs. It explains combo starting points, including combos from two-hit strings and follow-up attacks from guard breaks and throws. There is also a section on representative continuous techniques, showcasing example combos like the elbow strike to cloud sweep and elbow strike to quick small cutter. The page includes a move list, detailing various moves with their commands, attack attributes, and notes, like evasion or guard break possible. Finally, there's a player's voice section featuring comments from Chiba Aoi, who discusses the interesting aspects of Yaku, likely referring to strategies and tactics, especially focusing on the satisfaction of landing guard break techniques and utilizing Inashi, deflect, to force ringouts. They talk about enjoying mind games and winning through reading the opponent. Takarashi from Virtua Fighter 3 TB is a powerhouse character excelling in close-range combat and devastating throws. His fighting style, Real Fight Power, leverages his sumo wrestling background for powerful moves like Kuma Arashi and Ryujin, with damage varying by distance. He is described as having strong, fast attacks for control and offense. His profile details him as a Japanese sumo wrestler born in 1968, with a height of 202 centimeters and weight of 198 kilograms. He's popular due to his sumo past and entry into underground fighting. Key to playing Takarashi are his unique sumo throws, his weight advantage making him resistant to continuous attacks, and capitalizing on down attacks for ground combos due to slower opponent recovery. His moves include thrusts, dodges, slams, feints, throws, and stomps, showcasing both grappling and striking. The sumo ring stage, a sand-surrounded ring with a narrow, wall-less fighting area, emphasizes positional play. This page is a complete thorough guide for all 12 characters in Virtua Fighter 3 TB, detailing standard tactics and move combinations for the game. It goes through basic tactics, utilizing delayed linkages, and close combat strategies. The guide shows various continuous techniques, categorized as representative, easy, and basic, including combos that start from a victory lift and knee strike. More challenging techniques are also explained. Move lists are provided with command inputs and attack attributes. In the player's voice section, Edmund Honda expresses admiration for the combo system and the graphics, highlighting the overall quality of the game. A one-point tip advises players that attacking opponents as they are waking up is an effective strategy. Sega Rally 2 for Dreamcast is previewed as a near-complete arcade port plus enhancements. Scheduled for release on January 14, 1999, priced at 5,800 yen, this racing game features a two-player versus mode. Developers apologize for a slight delay from the original date, citing efforts to improve playability, especially for network novices. The Dreamcast version boasts improved graphics and detail over the arcade, with 4 courses showcased. Visual aspects are nearing completion, with realistic car models and enhanced courses featuring more scenery and objects, making it almost indistinguishable from the arcade version. The desert course is highlighted as beginner-friendly, with wide roads and visually enriched scenery, including animals and objects. This page highlights 3 courses in Sega Rally 2. The first course, SNOWI, is described as very slippery and challenging, especially for beginners. The text mentions that compared to earlier versions, this one is much closer to the arcade version, with more objects like trees making it visually richer and more lively. It asks how the subtle changes in road surface grip during driving feel in this version. The second course, Mountain, is presented as a high-speed technical course that truly tests driving skill. This course mixes tarmac and gravel surfaces. The preview notes that in earlier versions, the lack of objects was noticeable, but this has been largely resolved. It also questions how features like bridges and roadside ditches, present in the arcade version, are implemented in the Dreamcast version. Finally, Riviera is introduced as a super advanced course with a beautiful night cityscape. Set in a Monaco-like environment at night, Riviera is described as a long and technical course suitable for advanced players. The text emphasizes the impressive night cityscape and buildings, noting that the camera flashes from buildings are particularly impactful. The preview suggests the course is visually impactful and captures the atmosphere of Monaco at night. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast RPG called Climax Landers. It explores the mystery of world creation and introduces the strange inhabitants of the Landers world. The article describes the game's setting as a mysterious world where strange creatures live, hinting at uncovering the secrets behind this mosaic world. Screenshots showcase in-game environments and characters. The game is listed as an RPG, scheduled for release in January 1999, priced at 5,800 yen, and compatible with the VM. A quote mentions the peace concept behind the game, describing it as a new dimension RPG with expansive views and a fresh style, praising the character designs and promising a satisfying gaming experience. It also features an illustration of a peculiar bird-like character with a wind-up key. This game was released internationally as Landstalker, Treasure of the King Rail. This page introduces a new game concept revolving around the idea of pieces, which constitute a mosaic world. The page presents an overview of the game's world setting. The core idea is that the world is formed from fragments of different worlds, creating a bizarre and unique place. These fragments are called pieces and are represented by different themed areas like Masterpiece, Future Piece, Neumann Piece, Middle Ages Piece, Lao Piece, and Clock Tower Piece. The page shows a diagram of these piece worlds and screenshots illustrating environments from Master, Future, Middle Ages, and Lao pieces. The text mentions that these pieces are pieces of different worlds that have been cut off, along with their inhabitants, and combined to form this new world. It's a mysterious process, done by an unknown entity with an unknown purpose. The early world map, as depicted, is centered around the Middle Ages piece, allowing travel to 4 other worlds. It questions how to reach the Neumann piece. The text emphasizes the variety within this mosaic world, with different cultures and technologies existing side by side, ranging from fantasy to advanced technology and long-lasting conflicts. Players are encouraged to dive into this mysterious mosaic world and unravel the secrets of its creation through adventure. The next page promises a more detailed introduction to each piece. This page from Dreamcast Magazine is showcasing early details for a Dreamcast RPG. It highlights the game's viewpoint system, noting that while the world is rendered in real-time polygons, camera control is preset during movement, although some freedom to look around is available when stationary in the player's back view. A key location, the item shop, is introduced, located near the Sword's House and run by a seemingly gentle, family-oriented shopkeeper named Bangle, though he might be a shrewd merchant. The page also introduces Rose Princess, a free-spirited and curious character who is described as liberated from a strict upbringing and enjoying her life in this world. The game world itself, called Middle Ages Piece, is described as centrally located and a hub for other areas, featuring locations like the item shop, Monster Ranch, and Sword's House. The game is set in a fantasy RPG world focused on swords and magic, with a peaceful atmosphere and a classic RPG feel. This page is a preview of a Dreamcast game where your adventure starts in a clock tower. At the Tokyo Game Show demo, players began with a keyboard and the character Sword appearing. It seems Sword was originally from a different world and ended up in the clock tower. You meet a dignified old man referred to as the Master, who is described as a wise figure who will guide Sword. He's seeking a hero to save the world and seems to have chosen Sword for this role. Point B focuses on your character getting a house. The Master forcefully takes Sword to an old house, which becomes your base of operations. It mentions finding a crest in the room, hinting at something suspicious or important. A simple question section introduces the Monster Farm. This feature allows players to raise monsters they've befriended in dungeons. The monster farm's primary purpose is monster breeding, suggesting there's more to it than just keeping monsters. The text even humorously asks, "What about yogurt?" The sheep character, Hitsuji, is associated with this farm aspect. The next page is about the game Neumann Piece. It describes a very unusual world that is on top of a giant turtle floating in the sky like a ship. The world is described as having eye-catching colors and a unique atmosphere. You can explore this world and take on subquests from Neumann and Honey Neumann, who are portrayed as a loving couple. The page highlights the smooth and intuitive character movement using the Dreamcast's analog controls. It also emphasizes that despite the strange and unusual locations, there's no fear of falling, making exploration worry-free. The game world is shrouded in mystery, and even the existence of residents is unconfirmed at this stage in development. The only clue is an old man who calls you master and gives you a sword. The article concludes by suggesting players enjoy the beautiful scenery of this mysterious world. Screenshots show various locations, including Phantom Zone, Dr. Allen's house, church, Lau's house, and Neumann's house. This page introduces Rao Piece, likely known as Seventh Cross Evolution internationally, for the Dreamcast. It describes a world scarred by war, where advanced technology and monsters coexist. The page highlights 3 characters. 3. Rao, a lone warrior described as a skilled swordsman who doesn't care about being a hero and seems to be on a personal quest. Dr. Anna, a doctor working in a church-like setting who is reviving monsters. She is described as the daughter of a genius scientist, Dr. Allen, suggesting strong scientific abilities and connections to advanced technology. Tema, described as a mysterious pet from the future who appears to speak a language only Dr. Allen can understand and is considered cute. Screenshots show gameplay in a forest area called Phantom Zone and other locations, suggesting exploration and monster encounters. The game seems to blend futuristic technology with a fantasy or monster-filled setting. This page is focused on the Dreamcast game July, which was released internationally as Seventh Cross Evolution. It's touted as a Millennium Cinematic Suspense game, nearing 100% completion, and scheduled for release on November 27th at a price of 5,800 yen. The page details Chapter 7, Ingot Arc, of the game's story, which revolves around a bus bombing incident and a protagonist named Takashi Takanagi. He receives an MO, a memory organism, named Megumi, which is also his sister's name. The narrative involves a series of escalating events in July 1999, including a memorial for the bus bombing, an explosion at Eriko Sato's house, encounters with characters Joshua and Patty, an ingot protest demo, infiltration of Nax Heavy Industries, and Takashi entering Ingot. The characters highlighted include Takashi Takanagi, Eriko Sato, Joshua, Patty, Giorno Dini, Mitsushima Kusaku, and Tsuchiya Noriyuki. Ingot Park is introduced as an amusement park built by the Ingot organization on an island, and it's mentioned that Tsuchiya Noriyuki, a university student involved in weapons manufacturing and anti-Ingot protests, is participating in Ingot's activities. The game is emphasized as having a complex story and a large cast of 150 characters. Ingot is introduced as a game centered around a new religious organization, with Mother Carmine at its head. The protagonist journeys to Ingot Park, considered the safest place, ahead of a large gathering on July 23rd, where Mother's Island will be revealed. Key members of Ingot include Ito Creek, the wise Japanese branch manager, Noe Salamand, the seemingly playful branch director, Naomi Culling from the investigation department, Simon Rundle from public relations, and Bill Wiener, the diligent office manager with a comedic past. Outside Ingot, Makoto Takamura seeks his missing father connected to a bus bombing and opposes his father's research. His childhood friend, Eriko Satomi, a computer expert, lives with him after her house was bombed. Game screenshots showcase character dialogues, including Ito Creek's invitation to begin, Mother Carmine in a white outfit, and Naomi Culling discussing weapons production at NX Heavy Industries. This page focuses on the game Ingot and introduces characters and story elements. Chapter 8, titled Ingot Welcome to the Park, details the protagonist Joshua and his partner investigating sexless corpses at Ingot Park, a popular theme park run by the Nax Group, where various people gather. Joshua possesses the ability to identify these unique bodies. The page introduces characters like D. Creek, Huey, Simon, and Rick, who are associated with Ingot and Nax in different roles. Chapter 9, Yoshua and Makoto's Encounter, talks about the recruitment of Makoto and Eriko into Ingot. Makoto is assigned to the investigation department, and Eriko to administration due to her computer skills. Both are tasked with gathering information about Nax. It's revealed that Yoshua and Makoto will meet for the first time in Ingot Park. Characters Nose, Bill Wiener, and Eriko are also introduced, further outlining their positions and roles within Ingot and Nax, mentioning NAX's involvement in weapons manufacturing and their corporate image, which includes the color white. This page introduces the characters and story of what appears to be an adventure game, likely unreleased outside Japan. It centers around Patty Amati, an 8-year-old girl who possesses special abilities and acts with Joshua, who is described as her only true friend. The page details a scenario in Ingot Park where Patty and Joshua are looking for a lost child. The page then shifts focus to Makoto and Eriko, who are involved in the Ingot Association. Screenshots show dialogue snippets related to their activities and decisions, including Makoto leaving home to live in Ingot and Eriko expressing her support. The NAX group, featuring Gene Raven, Jorno Dini, and John McDougall, is presented as a powerful and unethical organization engaged in dumping and environmental pollution. Duke and Naomi are also mentioned in connection with Nax, with Duke leading an investigation department and Naomi seemingly receiving instructions. The overall theme appears to be a conflict between justice and evil, possibly involving the Nax group and the characters featured. This page introduces the Dreamcast game Evolution to Far Off World. It highlights the main characters and voice actors in the game. The main character, Mag Launcher, is voiced by Akemi Minaguchi, known for roles in Martian Successor Nadesico and Shimajiro Tiger. The heroine, Liner Cannon, is voiced by Mikako Takahashi, famous for roles in High School Mystery, Gakuen Nanafushigi, and Galaxy Fraulein Yuno Returns. Chain Gun, the rival character, is voiced by Tsunami Nishimura, known for roles in Pocket Monsters and Gigi no Kitaro. The page emphasizes the lively voice acting during battles, stating that the characters talk a lot, creating an exciting and fast-paced battle experience, almost like a fighting game. The voice actors are described as skilled veterans, bringing a lot of energy to their performances. The game features a wide variety of recorded voice lines for battle actions and damage responses. The screenshots showcase in-game battles with character portraits and health gauges. Game details reveal that Evolution to Far Off World is developed by Sega, ESP, and Sting. It's an RPG set to be released on December 23rd, priced at 5,800 yen, and is for one player only. The development was at 85% completion at the time of this magazine, with the developers aiming to create an enjoyable experience. This page introduces characters and voice actors from a Dreamcast game. Character profiles feature Grenade, a butler voiced by Akio Otsuka, known for roles like Captain Nemo, and Pepperbox, an adventurer voiced by Kikuko Inoue, famous for Belldandy. The page highlights conversations within Punam, the game's central town, emphasizing how dialogue and character expressions, even minor lines, enrich the gameplay. An example scene involves Liania and a mischievous boy, showcasing Mag's humorous reaction. Voice actor comments reveal insights into their characters. Mag, Omi Minami, is lively. Liania, Miki Takahashi, is innocent. And Chain, Tsunami Nishimura, balances boyishness and cuteness. Akio Otsuka found Grenade unique and enjoyable, while Kikuko Inoue portrayed Pepperbox as wild and charming. Ryotaro Okiayu, voicing another character, hinted at a cheerful role with an emotional narrative. All voice actors encourage players to immerse themselves in the game's world. This page is about the Dreamcast game Grandia 2. It introduces 3 locations within the game. The first location is a private house in Panam Town, described as a relaxing place where you can visit an old couple's home. The second location is a bar, where you might be able to gather useful information and encounter other adventurers. The third location is a new dungeon called Sheol Ruins, described as a dangerous place located in a volcano, with lava flows and a primitive atmosphere. The page highlights the detailed environments and the sense of adventure players can expect in Grandia 2. This page from Dreamcast Magazine highlights key locations in the game 7th Cross Evolution. It focuses on the item shop as place 3, emphasizing it as essential for adventurers to acquire necessary items, especially HP recovery items. The shop's owner is described as friendly and helpful to adventurers. The page also introduces other important buildings in the town, labeling them as Excavation Research Institute, Sci-Frame Modification Shop, and Private House. Private House. The Excavation Research Institute is presented as the largest building in town, where players can accept item appraisal requests. The Sci-Frame Modification Shop allows players to power up their Sci-Frame by modifying parts and slots, featuring characters Mag, Pepper, and Lime, who can perform these upgrades. The Private House is depicted as a place where players can find a peaceful family, including a baby and mother, offering a relaxing atmosphere. The page then introduces a new dungeon called Blind Dungeon, contrasting it with the Sheol Dungeon, previously mentioned. Blind Dungeon is located on the southern side of the continent and is described as jungle-like and flooded with water inside. The dungeon is said to be dark inside, and the page hints at puzzles and obstacles related to water and darkness. It mentions that the dungeon's name derives from its dark interior and suggests that players might encounter areas they cannot proceed through due to water. The dungeon is described as a labyrinth-like mystery hidden in the dense forest. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game, She's. It's an 18-rated love-adventure game with a theme centered around the 4 seasons, depicting spring encounters and farewells, summer's temptations, autumn's battles, and winter's loneliness. The game, developed by KID, is currently on sale and priced at 6,800 yen. The advert features 4 anime-style girls who appear to be the main characters, surrounded by smaller images that likely showcase scenes from the game. This page is a reader submission corner called Guru Powers. It features a Dream Plaza section, which is a dialogue between brother, sister, and cat about reader submissions. Topics discussed include the idea of national gift certificates, purchasing Dreamcast hardware and software, Sega Saturn games, and a Sega Person's Notebook. The page also highlights this week's Sonic Logic, focusing on synchronicity, and showcases fan art of Chaos from Sonic Adventure, presented as before use and after use illustrations. The hosts of the corner are introduced as Uzumaki Sister, Uzumaki Brother, and Uzumaki Cat, with brief character descriptions outlining their roles and personalities within the corner. Several reader submissions are featured, covering topics like first impressions of the Uzumaki family, Dreamcast and scenery recovery, house prices in relation to purchasing a Dreamcast, Sega games and the Dreamcast Note, a submission from a Saturn gamer, and a request to use postcards for submissions. Finally, there are Sonic Adventure commemoration sections at different difficulty levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. These sections showcase pixel art submissions of Sonic Adventure characters like Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic, along with comments and titles for each piece. This page previews upcoming games and reader submissions. Whirlpool highlights Dreamcast anticipation, with readers discussing excitement for events and the console as the ultimate computer game. Gulguru Comics features the humorous comic Big Cleaning. Project Backray previews Shenmue, emphasizing its impressive scope. Morning Parent-Child offers family-themed comics. Illust Garden showcases Sonic Adventure fan art and announces a Dreamcast special with Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Space Channel 5 inches in the next issue. Spike Out features action screenshots. Sengoku presents a Dreamcast mascot in a Warring States style. July illustrates popular characters July and Julie, mentions TV commercials, and received an award. The next page features a section called Girls Talk Corner Sister's Secret Heart, which seems to be a space for girls to share secrets. There's a question and answer section. Another section titled Ask the Cat is also featured, which is a question and answer column with a cartoon cat character. Game previews are present, including Psychic Force 2012. Even though it was initially released on PlayStation 2, the series is relevant to Dreamcast, as Psychic Force 2 was on the console. Sengoku Turb for Sega Saturn is also highlighted. There is a section with an image of a muscular man, possibly related to a wrestling or fighting game. Another area on the page features a Japanese man laughing with text that reads, Dreamcast is in Japan. Finally, there's a section called New Creation Festival, which appears to be an announcement or celebration for the magazine Dream Mag itself, highlighting its new issue. The phrase, Guru Powers, is repeated along the bottom of the page. This page presents reader submission sections. The Love Cafe section seems to be a lighthearted corner for reader interactions. The Alien Forest News Bureau section features reader experiences with games, particularly on the Sega Saturn, referring to themselves as Saturn Aliens. One reader humorously recounts how their sibling, initially against them playing Saturn, became engrossed in Final Fantasy V-2 on PlayStation after learning of its release and became a PS alien, implying they are a betrayer. And another reader expresses excitement about Warp and their game EO, praising its performance and impact. The page includes reader illustrations, fan art, and comical sketches related to various games. Games like Baroque, Deep Fear, Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, Shining Force 2i, Guardian Heroes, Panzer Dragoon, and Sakura Wars are referenced through illustrations and text. The bottom section provides guidelines for submitting content, specifying postcards, paper size, black ink, and stating color illustrations are not currently accepted, and also lists the address to send submissions to Dreamcast Magazine. This page is an advertisement from a store called B1, showcasing various video games and consoles available for purchase. The advert highlights pre-orders for the Sega Dreamcast, promoting it with a countdown until release and featuring upcoming titles for the system. Games listed include Sonic Adventure, Sega Rally 2, Godzilla Generations, Pen Tri-Isolon, and Blue Stinger. The advert also lists various Sega Saturn titles, like Sakura Wars 2, Policenauts, and Yukyu Gensukyoku, Perpetual Blue, alongside Nintendo 64 games, such as The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Pokemon Stadium. There's a new game schedule section listing release dates for games across PlayStation, Saturn, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy. The advert also includes pricing for consoles and peripherals for various systems. This page is a column addressing prejudice against otaku culture, specifically concerning dating sim games. It responds to feedback about a previous article, which suggested that otaku wanting to be popular should avoid otaku dating sims. The column delves into the perception of otaku and their interest in gakuen, school-themed, dating sims, particularly otaku imekura, a type of dating sim catering to otaku. It discusses the prejudice that otaku are only interested in virtual relationships and struggle with real women. The author clarifies they are not against otaku themselves, but highlighting the prejudice surrounding them and their choices in dating games, including cosplay imekura, and shares their own experiences with gakuen-themed games. The page includes a cartoon illustration of two people discussing these topics. This page presents articles on Japanese pop culture. One section mentions the start of a series by Mr. Shimakawa and Akihabara. Another discusses the manga Monster Encyclopedia, with an illustration, praised for its rereadability. An article on deep otaku culture reflects on the tokusatsu show Kyoryu Sentai Kosaiden, comparing its special effects to Star Wars, despite budget differences, and focusing on the resilient character, Gourmet Corps Commander. The Akihabara game section covers game store promotions and the impact of delayed releases, highlighting product presentations and knowledgeable Akihabara clerks. Game Shop, Backside of Backside, details sales tactics in Akihabara game stores, including placement strategies, manufacturer visits, information leaks, and assertive negotiation by clerks using promotional items. Finally, this week's news highlights manga artist Machino Keimaru being featured in Asahi Shimbun for his unique style and anticipated future works. This page is a comic strip titled Something Yoshimatsu Theater, and it humorously depicts the anticipation surrounding Sega's games and the Dreamcast release. The comic starts by stating that Sega's games are the best in the world, and mentions that they had been playing Saturn games before the Dreamcast announcement. The comic strip follows a timeline starting from early October, highlighting the development and anticipation for the Dreamcast. It mentions staff working hard on Dreamcast demos and that pre-orders are coming in. There's a sense of excitement and hype, even declaring, "Saturn will be massacred," implying the Dreamcast's dominance. The comic strip also mentions Jubei-chan as a future work of the author. This page is a special feature titled Game Industry Confrontation Special Ring that features an interview between music producer Kuji Hayama and Banpresto producer Yoshinobu Terada. Hayama is described as a musician who became famous 6 years prior with his game CD Ultra Advent and has since released 9 of his own albums, creating digital sampling sounds and wild vocals. Terada, a producer at Banpresto, despite being relatively young, having only been with the company for 5 years, is a veteran who has worked on 14 game titles, with 10 of them being related to Super Robot Wars. The interview delves into their perspectives on game creation. Teradata mentions that he wants to make superhero operations for PlayStation his representative work. He emphasizes the importance of character games and meeting fan expectations, stating that he wants to create character games that fans will be satisfied with. Hayama expresses his desire to create music for Terratogita's games, appreciating character game development and his commitment to fans. Hayama talks about wanting to create music that evokes emotion and enhances the gaming experience. He believes it's crucial to have a broad perspective and multiple channels of inspiration, yet maintain focus. Hayama's albums are listed including Emperor, King Record, and Ultra Advent, which are available from King Records, and Ultra Leaf Mountain, Sister, and Game Music is Dead, which were also recently re-released and are well received. The page concludes with website and address information for Hayama Koji. This page showcases movie previews relevant to the Dreamcast audience. First up is Armageddon, highlighted for its special effects, mentioning it earned $54,470,000 in its opening weekend. It describes the plot involving NASA, a space shuttle, and an asteroid threatening Earth, with a focus on the drill team sent to save the planet. The Japanese release date is stated as December 12th. Next is X-Files the Movie, a special section focusing on the movie adaptation of the popular TV series X-Files. It mentions the special FBI section X-File, and the story revolving around agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully, investigating unexplained phenomena. The movie is described as a sci-fi story with SFX. The Japanese release date is December 5th. Finally, Small Soldiers is presented with the tagline, "What if toys moved on their own?" It describes the movie as an action movie about toys that come to life, mentioning toy designers Irwin and Larry of Globotech, and the two toy groups, the Gentle Gorgonites and the Commando Elite. The story follows a 14-year-old Alan who works at his father's toy store and encounters these living toys. The Japanese release date is listed as mid-December. December movie releases included diverse genres. Ants, a groundbreaking 3D animated film from DreamWorks with Woody Allen and Sharon Stone, presented a spectacle anime perspective. Eddie Murphy starred in Dr. Dolittle, a heartwarming comedy about a talking-to-animals doctor, boasting impressive special effects. Out of Sight, a stylish and sexy thriller with George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez, depicted a bank robber and a federal agent. Jim Carrey's The Truman Show, a comedy blending humor with drama and SF, continued its comedic reign. Meet Joe Black, a love story set in Japan starring Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins, involved death falling in love. Lastly, Mothra 3, King Ghidorah Attacks, concluded the Mothra series with a final battle and explored Mothra's mysteries. The next page is a column titled Black or by Fumio Kurokawa, The Burning Publicist. The article discusses the upcoming Dreamcast launch, framed as the new generation game machine war opening night, including handheld games in the consideration. Kurokawa expresses excitement about the Dreamcast and sees potential in it, acknowledging the anticipation from readers of Dorimagu, Dreamcast Magazine. He touches upon concerns regarding potential production delays due to issues with the NECVR2 chip, impacting software releases. Sonic Adventure is mentioned as a key title, and the article discusses the importance of both software and hardware for the console's success, highlighting the need for strong sales and market momentum. It also mentions Dreamcast pre-orders starting around November 19th, with a release expected around November 27th, emphasizing the marketing efforts featuring Yugawa Senmu in television commercials. This page of Bamboo Spring's Various Things column is the third installment, numbered number 0. It begins with a cartoon strip where two girls discuss changing the column's title from Various Things Note to Various Things Dessous, because the column's length increased from half a page to a full page. The column mentions gaming topics, starting with the author excitedly announcing they bought a Game Boy Color. They also mention GB version Win Silene, referring to Furai no Shiren GB, Moonlight Village Monster for Game Boy. The author questions about Pokemon, presumably referring to the popular Pokemon games. The column also touches upon recent personal news, as the author shares that they have moved house. This is illustrated with trucks and a large number of cardboard boxes filled with books, emphasizing the difficulty and volume of the move. Finally, Bamboo Spring briefly talks about their manga work, mentioning reduced workload at Shueisha and that their main publishers are now Kadokawa Shoten and Poplar Publishing. The next page is an advertisement for official strategy guides for Sega Saturn games. It showcases 3 guides. Firstly, there's the official guide for Dragon Force 2, Kamisarishi Daiichi ni, released internationally as Dragon Force 2. This guide, priced at 1,200 yen, is a 5 size and 144 pages. It covers the game's detailed simulation aspects, numerous characters, combat system including troop types and special moves, internal affairs commands, character data, and item information. Next is the official guide for Shining the Holy Ark. This guide costs 950 yen, is also a 5 size and 144 pages, and comes as a booklet. It focuses on providing essential information for this simulation RPG, including complete map data up to the final stage, hidden item locations, enemy information, and is designed for data-driven players. Finally, the advertisement features the official guide for Meltlander. Reinforce on Sega Saturn. Priced at 1,400 yen, this all-color guide is 112 pages and includes an original trading card. It details the changes made for the Saturn version, new elements, and even includes voice actor interviews and 2 original trading cards as special bonuses for Meltlander fans. This page is an advertisement for digital manga collections. It promotes Cat Shit 1 Volume 1 by Motofumi Kobayashi, highlighting it as a popular series from Monthly Combat Magazine about rabbits and cats in Vietnam War-like scenarios, a modern war comic from a leading figure. The advertised price is 950 yen. The page also features WEB Comics Volume 1, described as a digital comic anthology available on the internet. It includes CG comics from various artists like Mayumi Miyama, Yui Tojo, Fujiwara Kamui, Suzuki Shunji, Kobayashi Motofumi, Morizono Miruku, and Oka Tsukuo. The price for this collection is 1,200 yen. The bottom right side showcases smaller panels with names like Epokishi, Koyama Motu, Kane 11 by Oka Tsukuo, and Rascolia illustrated by Morizono Miruku and written by Murashima Momoyo, suggesting these are works or artists featured in the WEB Comics anthology. It mentions CG art gallery, with artists like Mayumi Miyama, Yui Tojo, Fujiwara Kamui, Suzuki Shunji, and others, implying a variety of CG art is included. This page is a questionnaire postcard example and instructions on how to fill it out. It includes demographic questions like gender, age, school/occupation, and also asks about reading habits of magazines and opinions on articles in the current magazine. There are lists of hardware for Dreamcast and Sega Saturn, and also software lists for Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. The questionnaire also asks about Dreamcast pre-orders and games readers are interested in buying for Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. This page is an advert for the Sega Saturn game Idol Janshi Suchi Pai Limited Edition. It is a mahjong game with adventure elements. The game is a 3 CD set, and the limited edition includes extra items. The release date is November 26th, and the price is 7,800 yen. It is an 18+ rated game and supports memory backup. The advert also mentions a 5th anniversary campaign with a prize draw for special merchandise. This page is an advertisement for the communication adventure game Etude Prologue Shaking Heart's Shape. It announces a release date of November 26th, with a price of 5,800 yen. First edition copies include a 2-disc original cell jacket, and there's a lottery for original posters and art collections. Related goods, such as an image album and trading cards, are mentioned, along with release events at Akihabara, Messe Sano, and Softmap, plus various shops offering original goods. The cast and staff credits are also listed. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Virtual Mahjong 2, My Fair Lady. It's described as an industry-first raising polygon mahjong game, where you raise a character named Aya to become a princess in a virtual mahjong world. The game combines virtual mahjong with My Fair Lady, and was released on December 3, 1998, priced at 8,800 yen. The ad notes it is for ages 18 and over. This page is an advertisement for the official strategy guide of the Sega Saturn game Real Mahjong Adventure, Summer Waltz. This guidebook, priced at 1,400 yen and spanning 112 pages in A5 size, is scheduled for release in early December. It offers a complete walkthrough for the game, detailed strategy charts for each of the 7 female characters, instructions to reach both normal and best endings, and information on hidden events, all essential for fully completing the game and getting all the girls. The page features images of the 7 main female characters from the game, dressed in yukata. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Girl Doll Toy. It highlights a pre-order campaign for the game which was scheduled for release on December 23, 1998. The advert showcases several anime-style female characters named Erika, Shisaki, Sato, and Azami, and features text suggesting a romantic or doll-like relationship with the character Erika, asking, "Do you want to play games and love forever?" It includes a pre-order application form for readers to fill out. This page is an advertisement for the Super Robot Wars F&F Final Chapter Perfect Reference Strategy Guidebook. This comprehensive guide covers both Super Robot Wars F and Super Robot Wars F Final Chapter games. It boasts 440 pages, packed with event flowcharts for map, complete pilot and unit data, spirit command combinations, and a guide to achieving 100% completion of the pilot and unit encyclopedia. This book is advertised as essential for fans to fully conquer both games and is scheduled for release in late November, priced at 2,300 yen. This page is an advertisement for the Sakura Wars OVA Fanbook Volume 2. It highlights that this fanbook is for the OVA series of Sakura Wars and is the second volume. It mentions that it includes deluxe cell art illustrations, story digests, staff interviews, and new setting materials, promising to reveal all the charm of the OVA series. The fanbook is priced at 1,800 yen, is B5 size, has 96 pages, and was scheduled for release in autumn. The image features prominent characters from the Sakura Wars series. This page is an advertisement for the game Words Worth by ELF Corporation, featuring a large group of fantasy characters depicted in an anime style. The advert also includes the ELF Corporation logo, address, and website. This page is an advertisement from the company ELF, announcing the release of the Windows 95 and 98 version of their game. The text at the top translates to, "This world is delicious," and Windows 95/98's version release, "Decided." The image displays a group of characters that are likely from the game, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world, indicating that this advertisement is for the Windows 95/98's port of this classic title. Originally released on PC 98, YUNO was a well-regarded adventure game. This page in Dreamcast Magazine is dedicated to the upcoming game, Blue Stinger. It highlights the game as a non-stop adventure focusing on its prologue. The developers emphasize the game's violent action and grotesque graphics, but this preview focuses on the story's beginning. The article details the opening of Blue Stinger, where the protagonist Elliot, a member of the rescue team ESAR, is enjoying a break near Dinosa Island when a strange incident occurs. He escapes and lands on the island's pier, receiving communication that leads him to investigate further. Inside, he encounters terrifying creatures called dinocytes, with only a handgun and limited ammo, a dire situation for someone who is just enjoying a peaceful break. The page introduces Elliot G. Ballard, describing him as a rescue team member of ESAR, who is willing to face danger and is highly ranked. Screenshots show gameplay featuring 3D action elements, dialogues, and the environment of Dinosa Island. The article mentions that the game's prologue, up to the destination shown, takes approximately 30 minutes to play. Blue Stinger is scheduled for release in Japan on January 14, 1999, priced at 5,800 yen, and is for one player only. This page previews the Dreamcast game Blue Stinger, highlighting gameplay tips and the character dogs. The game is described as an adventure title, requiring more than just following the story. Players need to use their brain and be proactive. Tips include pushing containers to progress, using them as platforms, discovering new items, and utilizing the main character Elliot effectively. The page also introduces Dogs, a middle-aged character who rescues Elliot from danger and is connected to Elliot's rescue mission on Diana Island, related to the Dinocyte incident. This page previews the upcoming game, Dino Crisis. The headline translates to, "The light that floats before the two people is Nephilim?" referring to a mysterious character named Nephilim who appears before the protagonist, Elliot. The text describes Nephilim as an enigmatic light form that Elliot names unconsciously, and it questions if this name is correct. The next section, the second P, highlights a dramatic scene where the protagonists are rescued from a dinosaur attack. It describes how they escaped a marine hazard and encountered bizarre creatures, only to face another danger when a large dinosaur, a T-Rex, emerges as they try to cross a long bridge. The text emphasizes the precise sniping skills of someone who saves them from this predicament. The dinosaur side viewpoint section shows screenshots from the dinosaur's perspective, depicting the scene from the dinosaur's viewpoint as it emerges from the water. This is described as a cinematic camera technique. The text mentions that the sniper who helped them was communicating with them, and they were praised as AA+ rank level rescuers, suggesting the events are part of a mission or operation. The final image shows the aftermath of the dinosaur attack, noting the dinosaur retreated back into the water after being shot. This page is about the game Dino Crisis. The page details a scenario where Elliot has escaped from a dinocyte and is now entering a slope shuttle. However, a new problem arises as the shuttle's elevator is malfunctioning. There's a danger of an explosion, with only about 2 minutes left on the clock. Someone is trapped inside and calling for help, prompting Elliot to take action. The page then introduces a character named Janine, who is encountered after Elliot takes the elevator. Janine is described as a security company employee who was injured by a dinosaur and is now in the command room. The two characters introduce themselves and decide to gather information from the computer to determine their next steps. However, the security system is locked down, suggesting further challenges. The text mentions that Janine is observing the situation and seems to have anticipated some of the events. It highlights that she is sharp, and that Elliot finds her to be his type. The page showcases screenshots of gameplay within the slope shuttle and elevator areas, as well as character portraits of Elliot and Janine. The text emphasizes the urgency of the situation and the initial encounter between Elliot and Janine as they try to resolve the crisis. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Pew Pew Trouble in Trial, an action racing title from General Entertainment. It highlights the release date as November 27th, priced at 5,800 yen, and states it's an action race game supporting up to 4 players. The article describes the gameplay involving characters racing and being able to attack or hinder opponents. It mentions the game being designed with a different feel and describes the fun of multiplayer battles for 2 to 4 players, emphasizing that 4 players is the most enjoyable experience, encouraging players to bring controllers and play together. The screenshots show colorful 3D characters racing on tracks, some in water and some on land, with item boxes visible. The text also hints at quiz elements related to afro wigs and quizzes, and quiz hats within the game. The next page is all about getting the hang of Puyo Puyo Da. It introduces a mysterious new character called Hanamizu, asking, "Who is he?" The page then dives into tips for mastering the game, suggesting you first choose a pen character that suits your playstyle, as each has unique abilities and strengths on different courses. It also advises to practice thoroughly on courses you find challenging, and to learn how to effectively use stage gimmicks to your advantage, from small to large items, to secure the top spot. The page mentions grasping the general layout of courses for better navigation and obstacle avoidance. It also highlights 2 new race grades: Zakopen Taiketsu, where you race against characters of the same type as you, and Hanamizu Taiketsu, a race mode where you compete one-on-one against Hanamizu. Finally, it's noted that when playing Pen, the visual memory unit will display the character you are currently using, a fun little detail added by the development team. This page is a programmer's interview titled, "Pulling Out the Performance of the New Hardware, Programmers." It features interviews with 3 programmers: Junichi Sudo, who worked on the Panzer Dragoon series on Saturn and system-level programming; Shin Futakawa, who focused on character animation and worked on Panzer Dragoon Saga, known as Azul in Japan; and Akihito Wada, who has experience with Daytona USA Circuit Edition and is responsible for course programming. The interview discusses the challenges and experiences of developing games for the new Dreamcast hardware. The programmers talk about the improved performance of the Dreamcast compared to previous consoles, highlighting aspects like character animation and the move to full 3D environments, which were significant advancements from the Mega Drive and Saturn eras. They touch upon the difficulties they faced in realizing natural character movements and leveraging the new hardware capabilities. VQ texture compression is mentioned as a particularly useful feature of the Dreamcast. The overall tone is about exploring the new possibilities and overcoming the challenges of programming for this new generation of console. This page is dedicated to Dreamcast new information and focuses on an interview about a game seemingly called Pen. The developers discuss the animation library and motion-related aspects and how it was crucial for the game's development. They mention the challenges with polygon movement in previous hardware and how Dreamcast's capabilities allowed for more detailed visuals and effects like fog. They detail features such as versus Q texture compression for efficient data handling, fog function to enhance depth and perspective, game second round relating to game mechanics and level design, different plan possibly about camera angles or gameplay perspectives, and stroke, which appears to refer to character attributes affecting gameplay. The developers mention going through numerous trials and errors in development to reach the final product, and focused on making the game both fun and deep. A DC-first contest, called Time Trial Mania, for Pen Pen is announced. This contest utilizes the tortoise course within the total trial mode. Players are to compete in a time attack, submit replays and VHS videos via mail with their details, and prizes will be awarded to winners. Screenshots showcase gameplay from Pen Pen Triathlon with penguins racing on a track. This page is all about the Dreamcast's online capabilities and the Dream Passport software. It highlights Dream Passport as the key to unlocking online features on the Dreamcast, allowing users to browse the internet, send and receive emails, chat, and download game data. The page discusses how these features could revolutionize gaming, suggesting possibilities like online bulletin boards for sharing game information and games that provide in-game hints via email. It then breaks down the 4 main functions of Dream Passport. Firstly, web browsing, emphasizing compatibility with standard web technologies and showing Sega's official Dreamcast website as an example. Secondly, email functionality, noting that it's compatible with PC email users as it uses standard internet protocols. Thirdly, chat using IRC, enabling real-time conversations, effectively turning the Dreamcast into an internet chat system. And finally, the ability to download dedicated data, such as extra content for Dreamcast games, RPG scenarios, and even games specifically for the VM. The article confirms that all of this online data, including browsing history, emails, and chat logs, can be saved on the Dreamcast's visual memory. In a small section focusing on visual memory, there's a pixel art image of Nights from Nights into Dreams, created by a fan and submitted to the magazine. The page ends by speculating about future possibilities, like user-created VM galleries, and further game content delivered online. This page is a special feature focusing on the potential revival of the game Rent-A-Hero on the Sega Dreamcast. The article discusses how Rent-A-Hero, originally released on the Mega Drive Genesis in 1991, was an action RPG that gained cult popularity and was ranked 17th in a poll of games players wanted to see ported to the Dreamcast. The article highlights the game's unique system and setting, noting its realistic worldview and Sega-like character design. It mentions that AM2 Research developed Rent-A-Hero, the same team known for Virtua Fighter and other arcade hits. The page also touches upon the game's unique communication system, which used PC communication for in-game player instructions, suggesting this could be easily implemented on the Dreamcast using its modem. There is a section titled Transplant Hope Ranking, Will It Surpass Dragon Quest?, which includes a graph showing the ranking of Dragon Quest series and Rent-A-Hero over a period, suggesting the ambition to make Rent-A-Hero as popular as the Dragon Quest series. The article concludes with enthusiastic anticipation for the game's release. This page is a special feature on the Dreamcast game Godzilla Generations, an action title priced at 5,800 yen and launching on November 27. It supports 1 to 4 players, although it's single player on a standalone Dreamcast, and has a link function with Atsumete Godzilla. The page highlights the game as a countdown to Godzilla's arrival in Japan, questioning if this destructive force is a god. It mentions that the screenshots are from a development build and may differ from the final product, noting the high detail in Godzilla's model. The feature promises stage introductions and details on the game's development alongside movie information. There's also a section dedicated to the movie Mothra 3 King Ghidorah Attacks, the conclusion to the Heisei Mothra trilogy, with movie news and potential giveaways. Excitingly, the Dreamcast version will exclusively feature Manila as an additional monster, and the VM handheld game Mothra Dream Battle is also being revealed. This page details the Dreamcast game Godzilla Generations, comparing Heisei Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Heisei Godzilla is described as massive and powerful, with attacks like Fire Breath, Body Slam, and a wide-ranging tail attack. Mechagodzilla is smaller and lighter, equipped with Space Beam Eye, finger missiles, and a defense Neo barrier. Initially, only Heisei Godzilla and Mechagodzilla are playable. Original Godzilla and Minera can be unlocked by completing the game with specific characters. Connectivity with the Atsumete Godzilla VM game provides immediate content access. Atsumete Coliseum, within Godzilla Generations, will feature polygon versions of Mothra and King Ghidorah, hinting at further monster battles and comical elements. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast game Godzilla Generations. It showcases the first stage, set in Fukuoka, specifically the seaside Momochi area. The game tasks players with destroying Fukuoka Tower and other buildings. The page highlights gameplay mechanics, mentioning that Godzilla appears from the sea, and players must destroy everything to progress. It also points out strategic elements, such as targeting building foundations and being mindful of fire damage. The screenshots show Godzilla destroying buildings and using his atomic breath. A section called Local Voices features quotes from people who played the game. Home goal. One person from Riverhill Soft expresses excitement at seeing familiar buildings from their neighborhood accurately represented in the game, and mentions the satisfaction of destroying them as Godzilla. They also jokingly wonder why their office building is not included, even though they contributed to the DC presentation, and hope Sega will protect them. This hints at Riverhill Soft's involvement with the Dreamcast or Sega, possibly in a promotional or development support capacity. The page title is Godzilla Generations First Stage. The area is Fukuoka Area 1. The subheading is Seaside Momochi West Side. It also mentions Fukuoka Tower and Marizan Landing Point. The destruction rate 100% wall section is shown with screenshots of gameplay. The bottom left corner shows a versus mode. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. The game is copyrighted to Toho and TOHOEIGA in 1994. This page previews Area 2 of a game set in Fukuoka. The stage is called Seaside Momochi East Side, and is described as being visible from the previous stage across the river, featuring the Fukuoka Dome. The objective is to destroy the dome and the surrounding area, including a resort hotel designed like a ship. The game emphasizes the exhilarating feeling of destruction. The page details gameplay mechanics, noting that enemies will initially appear as tanks on the ground, especially in the dome parking lot. The map shows enemy locations as red dots. Players are advised to defeat ground enemies quickly to avoid unnecessary damage. Now, after a certain level of destruction, aerial enemies will appear, indicated by blue dots on the map. The game also warns players about going area out, causing a countdown and requiring them to return to the play area quickly. The page also mentions Stage Boss, Super X, appears, stating that after destroying all regular enemies, Super X, a powerful enemy, will appear. It is described as having high attack and defense power, advising players to fight strategically with fire or beam attacks. The results screen shown at the bottom suggests a scoring system with categories like Destroy, Speed, Shoot, Power, Combo, and Balance, leading to a final Your Title rating, displayed here as Giant Monster. The game seems to be focused on achieving a high destruction rating with speed. The next page introduces the Osaka stage in Godzilla Generations. This second stage is set in Osaka, specifically the Umeda area near Osaka Station, progressing towards Osaka Castle. The description highlights the numerous tall buildings, promising satisfying destruction, and mentions increased enemy presence from the self-defense forces and GFORCE, leading to intense battles. It advises players to use combo attacks and beam attacks effectively. There is also a tip to use the Y button to roar and recover health during gameplay. A Listen to the Locals section features humorous dialogue from Osaka residents reacting to Godzilla's destruction, mentioning landmarks like Osaka Castle and the Osaka Expo Park's observation tower, referencing Capcom and their Biohazard series. Another section mentions Area 2 inches being Osaka Castle, described as a location famously destroyed by Godzilla in movies and in this game, referencing the '89 Biollante movie and past Godzilla films, noting the historical significance of Osaka Castle and its surrounding moat as targets for destruction in the game. An interview segment features someone from Capcom's PR department who talks about the Osaka stage, mentioning their office being visible in the game and expressing amusement at its destruction. They discuss the game's pursuit of realism and wish for more Osaka locations like Hiranocho to be included in future stages. They also hint at Nagoya being a playable stage later in the game. This page is a feature focusing on Godzilla games and the monster's planned landings in various Japanese cities, presented as stages. The article highlights Godzilla's destructive path through Fukuoka, Osaka, Nagoya, Yokohama, and finally Tokyo. Each city stage includes specific areas targeted for destruction. For example, the first stage in Fukuoka features seaside Momochi and the west side area. Osaka as the second stage includes the Umeda area and Osaka Castle area. Nagoya as the third stage covers the TV tower area and the Kanban area. Yokohama as the fourth stage includes Yamashita Park area and Minato Mirai area. Finally, Tokyo as the last stage includes Ginza Yurakucho area, Tokyo Tower area, and Shinjuku Subcenter area. The article also references classic Godzilla movies like the original 1954 Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Mothra, 1992, and Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, 1991, showcasing screenshots from these films depicting destruction in cityscapes like the Ginza district and Shinjuku. The text describes Godzilla's history of destroying famous landmarks like the Nagoya TV Tower, especially in Godzilla vs. Mothra, and suggests that Godzilla's rampage through modern cityscapes provides excellent destruction opportunities, emphasizing the imposing presence of Godzilla in these urban environments. In a developer interview about Godzilla Generations, the central theme of city destruction is highlighted as a deliberate, though risky, design choice. The developers aim to provide players with the cathartic experience of destroying cities as Godzilla, leveraging the Dreamcast's graphical capabilities to enhance this. Creating realistic and satisfying destruction was a significant challenge, involving careful attention to detail, even scrutinized by Toho for film authenticity. Facing a tight schedule due to the Dreamcast launch, the team prioritized the core destruction mechanic, working intensely to create diverse Godzilla content. They emphasized reaching a high visual quality to align with Godzilla's cinematic legacy, and collaborated closely with Toho to ensure the game authentically represented the iconic monster. Kei Aso, CG director of Godzilla Generations, discusses his role in character and enemy control, emphasizing maximizing polygon count to realize compelling versions of Godzilla and Mothra. Location scouting and 2000 photos were crucial for authentic, recognizable landmarks. The game features numerous enemy weapons and vehicles. Aso highlights the challenging stage boss like Super X, and the team's efforts to make enemies menacing, ensuring players feel Godzilla's destructive power. Balancing realistic textures within polygon limits was a challenge. VM is used in novel ways, and gameplay emphasizes area destruction and quick progression for high ranks, rather than full completion. A contest for user-submitted location names received many serious ideas, with some playful elements like puns and Saturn references, as seen with the Goji Ramen sign example. The next page features an interview with Ken Suzuki, who worked on special effects for Mothra 3 Inches and Heisei Godzilla films, discussing the challenges of bringing monsters to life both in movies and games. The interview highlights the use of CG in Mothra 3, especially for scenes involving Mothra and King Ghidorah, emphasizing the detail and effort to make the monster movements realistic and expressive. Suzuki mentions that in Mothra 3, CG is used for scenes like Mothra time-slipping to ancient times, Ancient Godzilla, and King Ghidorah's wings. He touches upon the difference between movies and games, suggesting that Godzilla games could focus more on the destructive aspects of the monsters, contrasting with movie narratives, where the goal is to defeat Godzilla. The page includes screenshots of Mothra and King Ghidorah, showcasing the special effects discussed in the interview. This page is centered around the Dreamcast game Mothra 3 Feet, likely based on the movie of the same name. The page features screenshots showcasing the game's visuals and gameplay. There's an interview with the special effects director of the Mothra 3 Feet movie, who talks about his involvement with the game. He discusses the challenges of translating movie scenes into a game, the use of CG, and the aim to make players feel like they are controlling Godzilla. The interview highlights the synergy between the movie and the game. Gameplay text at the bottom humorously describes a player missing a tail attack in the game. The page title questions whether Mothra is a destroyer or guardian god, setting the tone for the game's narrative. This page is about Godzilla 3 King Ghidorah Attack, likely related to the movie Rebirth of Mothra 3. It discusses the story of King Ghidorah's return to Earth after 130 million years. King Ghidorah is capturing children and trapping them within a dome in the Fuji Sea of trees to steal their life force. Mothra makes the decision to travel back in time to confront and defeat King Ghidorah during his younger, weaker stage in the Cretaceous period. It is described as the concluding chapter of a Heisei-era trilogy. This page is focused on promoting the movie Mothra 3 Inches and associated merchandise, and a handheld game called Mothra Dream Battle. It highlights a special event at the Tokyo International Film Festival, where Mothra 3 Inches was screened before its official December 12th release. The page features photos of the cast and director, including Yuki Sayaka, Kobayashi Megumi, Hayano Akimi, Yoneda Kohiro, and Suzuki Kenichi, along with costumed Mothra and King Ghidorah characters entertaining the audience. Exclusive Mothra 3 inches goods are being given away as prizes, including a Mothra 3 windbreaker jacket, Transformation Mothra Land stickers, and posters featuring King Ghidorah and Mothra. The page then introduces the Mothra Dream Battle, Mothra Dream Battle, visual memory game, described as the second in a series of handheld games. It showcases a screenshot of the game in action on a white handheld device, depicting Mothra battling King Ghidorah. The text explains how children in the movie are playing this game, oblivious to the real King Ghidorah's arrival. The article mentions that the Dream Battle game is connected to the movie's plot and is a timed product to promote Mothra 3 inches. This page is a preview for the Dreamcast VM portable game Mothra Dream Battle, which is the second game in the Collect Godzilla series. It highlights that this installment focuses on monster training and battles, unlike the previous game. The page details 4 key points. Firstly, players can choose and train monsters, with 25 monsters available and stats focused on attack, defense, and luck. Secondly, there's a Monster Realm Palace Entry Tournament for up to 120 monsters with a ranking system. Thirdly, the game features multiplayer via VM Link for one-on-one battles or 3-on-3 team battles. Lastly, it mentions a palace system where tournament champions gain the title of King and Palace Entry, allowing battles against special camera characters. The page shows screenshots of the game running on a Dreamcast VMU and also features an image of a King Ghidorah figure, described as a prize. The game was slated for release in December 1998 for 2,980 yen, and 2 units could be connected for versus play. This page is showcasing the Mothra Dream Battle game, highlighting the various Mothra characters that will appear. It mentions it's exciting for fans to encounter monsters from the Mothra series, even allowing players to freely choose their favorite Mothra as their playable character in battles. The page introduces different forms of Mothra, like Adult Mothra, Rainbow Mothra, Aqua Mothra, and Metal Mothra, and also Larval Mothra. Other characters include Elias, Maul, and Laura, described as 12 centimeters tall guardian fairies, Belvera, who is Elias's older sister and a black fairy, and her mechanical dragon, Garu Garu, Agarla, an ancient sea creature, and Go-Go, a small monster related to Nirai Kanai's treasure, are also introduced. At the bottom, there's a present giveaway for Mothra Dream Battle, featuring postcards and stickers for 20 lucky readers. To enter, readers need to send a postcard with their details and a message about their expectations for Dreamcast games. The next page is an advertisement for the Puyo Puyo and Madu Monogatari card collection. This trading card set features various card types, including character, event, Great Demon King, illustration, and special cards. Releasing in November, a pack of 10 cards costs 300 yen, and a box of 15 packs is priced at 4,500 yen, promising over 120 different cards for fans of the series. This page is a contents page from Sega Saturn Magazine, issue 12 quarters 1998, highlighting upcoming and newly released games, as well as complete guides. The Coming Soon Soft section features games like Sakura Wars, Girl Doll Toy, Find Love 2 Rhapsody, Device Rain, Etude Prologue, Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Gentaiban, Wizardry Rilgaman Saga, and Virtual Mahjong 2, My Fair Lady. The new release title section lists games such as Kiss Yori, tentative title, and 6, My Darling. Finally, the complete guide section focuses on the game She's Rain. This Sega Saturn page presents a Shop Data Top 10 Inches ranking of best-selling software. Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter tops the list, praised for its quality despite potentially short loading times. Neon Genesis Evangelion, an ADV Plus Mahjong game, is second, appealing to fans of both genres. Virtua Cop S, with its limited edition and Yobi Cocoon feature, is third. The rest of the top 10 include Pia Carrot, EU Koso, 2. Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition, Real Mahjong Advisor Sea Voyage Summer Waltz, Falsitas Classics 2, Segataga Sunshiro True Warrior Games, Shining Force 2, I Scenario 3, Ice Flame of Fate, and Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, The Blank of 3 Years. A release schedule follows, highlighting titles like Idol Janshi Tsuchipai, Mecha Gentaiban, and Wizardry Rilgaman Saga for November 19, 1998, and Find Love 2, Rhapsody and Etude Prologue Furemi Kokoro no Katachi for November 26th. December 3, 1998. Features Capcom Generation 5 and Winning Post 3 Program 98. December 10th includes Sega Saturn Collection versions of Princess Crown, Rock Band X4, and Silhouette Mirage. Releases continue into early 1999, with games like Kowloon Emperor Legend and Rockman and Forte Metal Heroes, with Kiss Yori and Millennium Faya planned for spring 1999. This page is a user popularity ranking for upcoming Sega Saturn software. At the top of the list is Sakura Wars, ranked number 1 with 259 points and 100% development completion. In second place is Darby Stallion, with 176 points and 80% completion. Girl Doll Toy is also featured, ranking at 28th place, with 25 points and 90% completion. The page mentions other titles in the top 20, including Sonic the Fighters, Real Sound 2, Friends, The Gimmick of Youth Shine, Waltz, Dungeons & Dragons Collection, Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Limited Edition 5th Anniversary Package, and Capcom Generation 5. Below the rankings are tables listing upcoming games with their release dates, titles, prices, developers, genres, and compatible peripherals like controllers and RAM expansions. These tables showcase a range of titles across different genres, including RPG, adventure, shooting, simulation, and more. This page showcases the weekly Sega Saturn Readers Poll for November 20th, ranking currently released Saturn software, totaling 1106 games. It's a popularity contest based on reader votes, aiming to reflect player opinions and help with purchasing decisions. The top game is Pia Carrot e Yukoso, 2 inches, which has held the number 1 spot for 2 weeks. The ranking includes a massive list of games with their genres and average scores, reflecting the breadth of the Sega Saturn library at the time. The page details how readers can participate in the poll and emphasizes that the rankings are based on real-time reader feedback. This page features new game reviews and a Saturn bestseller chart. The new Arrival Hot Games section reviews 3 titles. The Falcom Classics 2 inches for Sega Saturn is a collection of older Falcom games. Reviewers enjoyed it as a nostalgic trip for fans, praising the gameplay even if the graphics are dated, noting the inclusion of YOS 2. The overall score was high at 9.1032, with the magazine score at 8.0. Sagata Senshiro, True Courageous Games, is another Saturn title, scoring 7.4 overall. It's described as a fan item, based on the popular Sagata Senshiro commercials, featuring various minigames. Reviews suggest it's mainly for Sega fans and based on the Sega Saturn mascot. Lastly, Virtual Call S for Saturn received a 7.3 overall score and a lower 6.0 from the magazine. This game seems to be character-focused, potentially with adult themes hinted at. The review mentions a calling your name feature, but notes inconsistencies in intonation. The right side of the page presents a Saturn Bestsellers B ranking chart listing Saturn games with their scores and genres. It appears to be a weekly ranking of popular Saturn titles. This page is a Sega Saturn game ranking chart titled Odds Table Saturn C and Weekly Sega Saturn Readers Race. It presents a large table listing various Sega Saturn games ranked according to reader votes, including game titles, genres, and average vote scores. This page is a review of the Sega Saturn game Shining Force 2 on Halls of Hades Palace, highlighting it as a recommended masterpiece. The review mentions the game's scenario, battle system, and the synchronicity and data transfer features where previous actions influence later events. It emphasizes the engaging story and the strategic depth of the battles, noting the ability to customize battle members and equipment. Screenshots show in-game battle scenes and dialogue. The page also features a section titled Odds Table Saturn D, which seems to be a ranking list of Sega Saturn games by popularity or score. Games are listed with their genres and some numerical data. At the bottom right is a section called Stand Up, Death Sama, which appears to be a spotlight on games competing for the title of lowest ranked emperor on the Saturn, indicating games considered less popular or of lower quality. This page is packed with Sega Saturn content, focusing on reader polls and predictions. At the top, you'll find the Next Racehorse Paddock information, which previews 3 games. First, there's Real Mahjong Adventure, Umi e Summer Waltz, a Mahjong adventure game. Next is Neon Genesis Evangelion, Eva and Happy Companions, an Evangelion game focusing on characters rather than mecha action. It received a rather lukewarm average score of 5.0. Finally, There's Honkaku Hanafuda, an authentic Hanafuda card game, which scored a decent 6.33 average. To the right, there is an odds table, ranking Sega Saturn peripherals, based on reader votes. It lists various accessories with their prices and average scores, like the Virtua Stick Pro, Sega Saturn floppy disk drive, and Sega Saturn keyboard, among many others, essentially showing which Saturn accessories are most popular with readers. The page also promotes the Sega Saturn Reader Race and is recruiting participants. It seems the countdown for this reader race is on, hinting at the end of the Sega Saturn era. Below, there's a finishing order prediction game, where readers predict the ranking of games, specifically mentioning Find Love 2 Rhapsody. Another prediction game on the page is focused on season, asking readers to predict its odds score in the reader poll. Finally, there's a prize announcement for the reader contests with 3 courses to choose from, offering different sets of Sega Saturn accessories as prizes for lucky participants. This page is an advertisement for GameSpot Japan, an online source for internet game information. It promotes daily news updates on the game industry, available for free. The page highlights several sections. News covers the latest hardware like Dreamcast and PlayStation, and mentions portable game console battles between Game Boy, Neo Geo Pocket, and WonderSwan. The Events section reports on big gaming events like Tokyo Game Show. Call UMN features insights from Japanese game writers and game history discussions. Special section focuses on in-depth articles and interviews with game creators. Links section promotes connections to around 300 Game Maker homepages. On the right side, there are news snippets, including a mention of Cat Shit 1, and game titles like a romance RPG Sonata, a shooting game Polygon Climber, and a Pocket Station game within the EA theme series. It also promotes downloadable game demos. The page is published by SoftBank and Digital Media Publishing. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game Sakura Wars 2 Feet. It highlights the various minigames included within the Sleeping Beauty in the Forest stage production storyline. The page showcases 5 minigames. Light Staff with Maria, where you need to solve a lighting puzzle and remove mirror balls from Kuroko to manage stage lighting. My Dress, featuring Sakura, Sumire, and Iris, requires you to deliver the correct costumes to each character quickly, avoiding being late. Name of the Rose with Rainy involves completing a jigsaw puzzle of the stage's backdrop. W Target, starring Kana and Honglan, tasks you with catching only the necessary stage props thrown by the girls, while avoiding unwanted items. Finally, If I Could Play the Piano with Oriheim is a rhythm game where you help Oriheim play the piano, requiring accurate input to succeed. The game is advertised as 100% complete and scheduled for release on December 23rd for 4,800 yen, published by Red Company as a digital fan disc. This page is a special feature in Saturn magazine focused on Sakura Wars. It highlights Taigeki Graph, a collection of secret materials that goes beyond just gameplay. The page showcases several sections within this Taigeki Graph. Taigeki Picture Collection features rare Sakura Wars artwork, including illustrations of the stage play Liar King that appears in the game. Setting Terminology Collection Taigeki Graph Edition is a visual dictionary of Sakura Wars terms designed by Red Company staff, with a Kinematron search function for easy lookup. A section previews the contents of Disc 2 of the game, mentioning Koi Koi Tyson 2 and Taigeki General Will Chess as included content, showing menu screenshots. There's a dedicated section for Liar King image illustrations, depicting scenes and characters from this in-game play. Character profiles are given for the Black Demon Society 5 Elements group, antagonists from Sakura Wars. These profiles cover Demon King, Diamond, Firecart, Tree Eater, Water Fox, and Earth Spider, detailing their characteristics and roles. Package illustrations for both Sakura Wars and Sakura Wars 2 are featured. The page also mentions a Taigeki Public Relations Activity Photo Collection, which includes movies and promotional materials. Lastly, a gorgeous interview collection section is included, listing the voice actors who feature in interviews within the collection. This page is an advertisement for the upcoming Sega Saturn game, Girl Doll Toy, an adventure title rated for adults 18 and over. It is highlighted as being 90% complete and is scheduled for release on December 23rd at a price of 6,800 yen, published by Zaurus. The advert hints at the story involving a woman who is revealed to be an emotionless android and the object of someone's affection. The game is advertised with enhanced full-color CG graphics, a recreation of the PC version with refined touches, and initial bonuses like a poster, crystal file, and desktop calendar. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game Experimental Android Erica, a remake of a PC title. The game is set in a futuristic Japan in the 20XX era and explores the theme of giving emotions to a cyborg. The story revolves around a protagonist in university who rediscovers and develops a female android, Erica, who was initially deemed a failure and scheduled for disposal. The game aims to depict the emotional journey as the protagonist teaches Erica about feelings and love. The Saturn version boasts enhanced visuals, moving from 256 colors to full color, with improved graphics and new graphical assets. The gameplay screenshots showcase dialogue scenes and exploration segments. It mentions that the scenario is text-based adventure focused on dialogue and exploration, and that minigames are included to add variety to the gameplay. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game Girl Doll Toy. The game tells the story of a university student who is fascinated by model building and computers and is working on cyborg technology. He takes home a discarded experimental cyborg named Erica, aiming to perfect her into a complete android. Erica becomes a beautiful woman, but her perfection and abilities create unexpected problems. The protagonist then desires to give her human-like emotions. The page introduces several characters. Professor Maruyama, a renowned authority on androids from the protagonist's university. Manager Akiyama, the owner of a junk shop who provides parts for Erica's modifications. Shiki, the cheerful and energetic signboard girl of a fishing tackle shop. Nurse Sato, who is kind but also strong-willed and will care for the protagonist in the hospital. And Azami, a glamorous researcher who suggests turning Erica into a perfect android. Azami is described as having a slender yet curvaceous figure and is concerned about the protagonist. The text hints at romantic interests and relationship developments between these characters and the protagonist and Erica. This page is a preview of a Sega Saturn game where you raise a cyborg girl named Erica through 3 distinct zones: Toy Zone, Doll Zone, and Girl Zone. In the Toy Zone, Erica is newly created, and you can teach her anything and exert your will upon her. The Doll Zone sees Erica being modified to be more human-like, with improvements to her body temperature and the removal of mechanical noises, going beyond just her appearance. Finally, in the Girl Zone, human-like emotions are implanted into Erica. By loving and cherishing Erica, a miracle may occur. The page highlights heartwarming drama events, showcasing a scenario called Azami's Inducement, with a screenshot of Erica dressed as a nurse, and the text, Satoshi's sister-in-law? Devoted nursing. Another image poses the question, will her love sprout after all? And explains the game involves teaching Erica about love, and the protagonist may also develop feelings for her. The game focuses on raising Erica and experiencing emotional events as you guide her development. This page showcases Find Love 2 Rhapsody, a dating simulation game. It highlights the game's concept, where the protagonist takes on 2 roles, a classmate and a manager of a girls' dormitory. The game focuses on interacting with girls in 2 distinct scenarios, offering varied gameplay. The page mentions a release date of November 26th, price of 6,800 yen, and an age rating of 18+. There are sections detailing school life, where you interact as a classmate, and manager life within the dormitory. Screenshots show dialogue interactions in both scenarios, with time and money elements visible in the UI. The conversation checkpoint section emphasizes choosing the right attitude before speaking to girls, highlighting that just using cool lines isn't enough. Your approach matters. It illustrates Kiza, cool/stylish, and wild attitudes as examples, showing how different attitudes can affect character stats in the game, like appearance or power. This page showcases daily life events in the game Find Love, highlighting different scenarios across a week from July 11th to July 16th. These events range from slice-of-life situations to slightly more suggestive happenings. Starting on July 11th, there's a scene in what looks like a hospital room. July 12th shows characters shopping in town on their day off. July 13th depicts the manager's job theme, where the character seems to be helping female residents in an apartment building, resolving issues. July 14th warns about stalkers, showing a slightly unsettling scenario. July 15th explores the dynamic between a model student and a slacker. Finally, July 16th touches upon the theme of too much late-night playing, possibly hinting at consequences of excessive nighttime activities. The page also advertises Find Love original goods as prizes, including a music box set and a wall clock, exclusively for fan club members. The address for the fan club and contact details for inquiries are also provided for those interested in the game and fan club related matters. This page is a preview for the adventure simulation game, Device Reign, set in modern Tokyo. Developed by MediaWorks and slated for spring 1999, the game puts players in the shoes of high school students. The story begins after school in the nurse's office and involves characters like Juya, Shijiro, Kasumi, and the school doctor. The preview highlights 4 key locations: after school at school, fast food restaurant, game center, and Kasumi's house, each showing different scenes and character interactions. The gameplay involves dialogue and decision-making, illustrated by screenshots of conversations and in-game menus. The game features a unique battle system called Argument and Opus, which uses special units developed by Dr. Einherjar. These are described as next-generation weapons capable of creating a non-realistic space called SC space. 9 Opus units are arranged around a core brain control device, with 8 units being replaceable to change commands during battles. The combat is described as real-time simulation, and the sacred death is mentioned as Juya's argument. The preview emphasizes the character expressions and the changing relationships based on player choices, particularly mentioning Kasumi's feelings potentially changing based on game center choices. This page showcases character profiles for the upcoming Sega Saturn game, DICE: Cybernetic Dreams. It introduces the main characters and their roles in the story. The game revolves around a protagonist and his companions protecting a girl named Kasumi, who is targeted by the international secret organization, DICE, because of her special abilities. The page details the protagonist group including Toya Kumo, a high school student living alone with good all-around abilities; Seishiru Hiragi, Toya's cheerful and reliable friend; Kasumi Einhart, a genius girl targeted by DICE; Riko Kuki, a MIT graduate from DICE developing advanced weapons; and Hitomi Meihao, a strong-willed classmate who has feelings for Toya. Opposing them are the executives of DICE: Shinobu Kiryu, a loyal subordinate with jealousy towards Toya; Kaname Inmyoji, the ruthless young leader of DICE's Japan branch; Utsuro, a pain-insensitive assassin attached to Toya; and JB, a mysterious and genius-like information broker for DICE with vast knowledge and combat skills. The profiles reveal the characters' backgrounds, personalities, and motivations, setting the stage for the game's narrative. Etude Prologue is a Sega Saturn adventure game released on November 26th for 5,800 yen, rated for all ages. The game centers on the theme of shaking hearts and the importance of shared dreams. It introduces characters connected to the heroine, Rin Kusanagi, who is kind and understanding. These include Hiroshi Manda, a studious student council president; Tatsuya Kori, Rin's ex-boyfriend who reignites her tennis passion; Wakaba Kusanagi, Rin's seemingly rebellious but kind sister; Tomosato Nasu, Tatsuya's playboy friend who develops feelings for Rin; and Shingo Amano, a lonely boy Rin wants to help overcome his belief in bringing misfortune. Close friends are also highlighted for their supportive role. First purchasers of the game received a special jacket, and a lottery offered original artwork. This Sega Saturn magazine preview details a simulation game unfolding across a school schedule and introducing key female characters. The game timeline begins January 27th, with information gathering and personal reflection leading up to graduation. February 1st marks a love confession and unlocks expanded school access, shifting focus to action. From February 2nd onward, character data becomes accessible, emails start arriving, and player choices influence meetings and ultimately, the game's resolution. The preview introduces characters like Ayase Ao, an innocent happiness bringer; Yamada Mayu, a tough celebrity with hidden vulnerabilities; Nakasawa Kei, a kind singer with a sealed voice; Hagiwara Mami, a cheerful childhood friend; Koto Hitomi, a quiet past girlfriend; Fujino Azusa, a diligent girl with a lost smile; and Saiki Shinomi, a youthful, rumor-loving younger sister of a past girlfriend. Each character offers a unique romantic path within the game's simulated high school scenario. This page is an advertisement for a new Tsuchipai adventure game for Sega Saturn titled Tsuchipai Adventure Extra Edition. High school girls saw beautiful Game Center employee Yukiyama Gokuraku travel. The flaming furicode is the scent of death? The game is set in Kamioga High School, and revolves around a ghost story and the mystery of the Furisode fire. The story starts with a high school girl left alone at school, who encounters a kimono-clad girl and gets drawn into investigating strange occurrences. Characters like Umeno Maya and Mama-sama are mentioned in relation to the plot. Screenshots show in-game scenes including a classroom setting subtitled Kamyoga High School's Ghost Story and a game map of Kamyoga City. Another section titled Ryo-Nasama's History 1 Point explains the historical Furisode fire, referencing the Great Fire of Meireki and its connection to cursed Furisode sleeves. The bottom portion of the page promotes Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Mecha Genteiban 5th Anniversary Edition, a mahjong and adventure game, releasing on November 26th for 7,800 yen. It's highlighted as a 100% complete, 3-disc set for Sega Saturn, recommended for players 18 and over, and is single-player only. The advertisement encourages Tsuchipai fans to pre-order. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game, Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Special. The page focuses on introducing new characters added to the mahjong game for the free battle mode, and mentions hidden characters being available in this mode too. It highlights 6 returning characters: Kita, Ayumi, Saihara, Noriko, Katagiri, and Misato, giving a brief profile for each of them. Screenshots show in-game scenes and character selection screens, featuring various pie characters like Lemon Pie, Cherry Pie, Milky Pie, and others. The text mentions that 6 new characters have been added for a total of 24 playable characters in the free battle mode. The page teases future hidden characters that are yet to be revealed. This page is a preview for Wizardry, Lilgamen Saga on Sega Saturn. It's positioned as a guide for beginners to the Wizardry series, focusing on the first scenario. The article highlights that this version remakes the first 3 games in the series and emphasizes the deep and challenging nature of Wizardry. The page offers gameplay tips, starting with character creation, suggesting players should aim for high bonus points and prioritize stats relevant to their chosen class, such as strength for warriors and intelligence for mages, along with vitality and agility. It also advises creating characters from the higher classes right from the start, even though it's difficult, as they will be stronger in the long run, implying that classes like Lord and Ninja are attainable from the beginning, but require high stats. Screenshots show in-game interfaces with character stats and dungeon views, illustrating the classic Wizardry gameplay. The article concludes by encouraging players who are hesitant to buy the game to read the preview to help them decide. It mentions that scenario number 1 is the core experience, and subsequent scenarios add extra elements. This page provides RPG strategy tips for an upcoming Saturn game, focusing on party building, resource management, character progression, dungeon exploration, and scenario progression. It advises players to plan their party composition with future job changes in mind, and provides example party setups, such as a growth-oriented party, focusing on basic classes that later transition to advanced ones, and a balanced party. The page stresses the importance of careful item purchasing with limited funds, suggesting players prioritize essential items and avoid unnecessary spending early on, especially for party members who are primarily support roles. Job changes are discussed, highlighting that while base stats might decrease upon changing to a higher class, it's crucial for long-term character growth and accessing stronger abilities. For dungeon exploration, the advice is to return to town quickly if HP or MP is low, and to explore lower levels of the labyrinth initially. It also suggests utilizing free MP recovery methods at inns, by using certain spells and resting to conserve money in the early game. Finally, it indicates that scenario number 2 onwards in the game requires characters to be at least level 13, advising players to level up sufficiently before proceeding to later scenarios. This page features an interview with the development producer Yokota Tomohiko for Wizardry, Lilgamen Saga on Sega Saturn. The interview discusses the aim to create a complete reproduction of the PC version, adding a bonus dungeon, and implementing an auto-map feature. Other features mentioned are the Monster Museum and Item Museum. Yokota notes that the graphics were modernized with polygons, but wireframe options remain for purists. He also mentions the inherent tension in Wizardry games, and his personal history with the series, stating his favorite scenarios are number 1 and Wizardry V. He explains that the Saturn version is intended to be the ultimate version of the game, and not just a simple port of the PlayStation version. The interview touches upon the challenges of porting the game, including replicating the feel of the original PC version, even down to the floppy disk access sounds, which they ultimately decided against due to CD loading times. Wizardry, Lilgamen Saga for Sega Saturn is a compilation featuring 3 classic wizardry scenarios. The first, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, focuses on character creation and dungeon exploration. Knight of Diamonds builds upon the first, introducing stronger enemies and mysteries in the village of Nilda. Legacy of Lilgamen resets characters to level 1 and emphasizes puzzles in a quest for the Obi of Earth. An interview with Yokota highlights wizardry's appeal as an authentic RPG, contrasting it with modern character-driven narratives and emphasizing player-shaped stories and character growth. Suzuki and Hashimoto from Sales Promotion explained the project stemmed from a desire to create a game they personally wanted to play, leading to the inclusion of all 3 scenarios and graphical enhancements beyond wireframes. A giveaway is advertised for telephone cards and t-shirts for readers who enter by November 11th. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game Boulder Dashland. It's described as a pop and authentic boxed garden-style simulation, where you guide and nurture the Boulder D race to prosperity and victory against enemies. As a godlike figure, players give instructions and can directly engage in combat. Job roles for Boulder D, such as worker, builder, scientist, and soldier, can be freely changed and are key to success. The game features 67 stages with evolving scenery and graphics. It's set to be released on November 26th, priced at 6,800 yen, categorized as a simulation game, SLG, suitable for all ages, and supports mouse control. The field is said to be full of surprises, with various creatures and traps. This page showcases a preview for the Sega Saturn game Bulk Slash, a real-time strategy title exclusive to Japan. The page acts as a guide explaining the game's basic gameplay flow across 4 key stages. Firstly, it highlights increasing the population, starting with boosting the number of Pooldi characters at the beginning of each stage. These Pooldi are workers and contribute to growth. Secondly, the guide emphasizes building structures. As the Pooldi population grows, a portion of them become builders, who construct various buildings, crucial for development and resource management. Thirdly, the page moves to preparing for battle. Once infrastructure is set, players need to train scientists and soldiers to prepare for incoming enemy attacks. The use of traps is also mentioned as a tactic to gain an advantage. Finally, the guide explains launching an attack. With sufficient soldiers and weapons, players are encouraged to aggressively invade the enemy territory. The goal is to capture the enemy emblem to clear the stage. The game also features diverse attack methods, including ground assaults and aerial attacks. The page uses screenshots of in-game action to illustrate these steps and features cartoonish characters and a top-down perspective typical of real-time strategy games. It promotes Bulk Slash as an engaging and strategic experience for Sega Saturn players. This page is an advertisement for My Fair Lady 2 Virtual Mahjong 2 inches for Sega Saturn, a sequel to Virtual Mahjong I. It highlights the game as the world's first cultivation polygon mahjong game where players nurture the character Aya, a cute polygon idol. By playing mahjong and raising Aya's parameters, you can aim for a happy ending, where she becomes a beautiful princess. The game features authentic 4-player mahjong and a service scene, where players can view Aya in various costumes and poses from different angles. It is scheduled for release on December 10th by Micronet, priced at 8,800 yen, and recommended for ages 18 and above. The ad mentions that winning in Mahjong unlocks rewards, and that the game allows for quick play. It emphasizes the variety of costumes Aya will wear as the game progresses. This page is a preview for a Sega Saturn game that seems to be a Mahjong title with character relationship elements. The game centers around a girl named Akaria, who dreams of becoming a princess and living in a castle. The article explains that to fulfill Aya's wish, players need to raise her 8 parameters: stamina, morale, refinement, spirit, intelligence, sex appeal, pride, and luck. Each parameter can be increased by achieving specific mahjong hands, or yaku, such as Tanyao, Toi Toi, and Dora for stamina and morale, or Pinfu and Sunshoku Daojun for refinement. The goal is to achieve the best ending by not only raising these parameters, but also consistently winning with high-scoring hands throughout the game. The page highlights 2 gameplay scenarios. In the first, even with good play, the sex appeal parameter might not increase much, while in the second, by aiming for a Mangan hand, all parameters increase significantly, leading to Aya changing her outfit into a china dress. The article also notes that making mistakes like Chombo will result in point deductions, and losing matches will decrease Aya's trust level. Understanding the properties of different yakus is crucial for efficiently raising specific parameters and achieving the best ending in this game. Kiss Yori, a Sega Saturn romance simulation adventure game by Kei, was previewed in spring 1999. Subtitled Summer Sea, it follows a high school boy's summer job at the Marine Palace Resort, where he seeks romance. Gameplay features include the dream system for foreshadowing events, the real-time conversation system with timed choices impacting relationships, a snapshot feature for in-game photos, and the real-time action system with a Doki Doki gauge requiring timed clicks to influence character reactions. Players encounter several female characters: reliable Nanami, popularity-seeking Miku, active Eri, mysterious Rei, demanding younger sister Ringo, and main heroine Chihiro, the protagonist's middle school crush. The preview indicated the game was 20% complete and promoted a summer romance experience. Released only in Japan, Kiss Yori lacked an official English title. This page is a preview for the Sega Saturn game 6-inch Midarian. It's described as a comical and slightly fantastical adventure game where the protagonist finds a 6-tall girl in a box during summer vacation. The aim is to spend 15 days with her and try to turn her and other Pygmalion girls into humans. The page introduces 3 Pygmalion characters: Etora, Sarah, and Pim. Expand. Etora is described as elegant and sisterly, Sarah as reliable and sister-like but also clumsy, and Pim as a tomboyish and curious girl. The game seems to involve interacting with these girls over 15 days, with your choices influencing the story and their development. Screenshots show in-game scenes and interfaces, including a calendar to track the 15 days and dialogue boxes. There's also mention of characters like the protagonist's family, his childhood friend Kanako, and a flirtatious friend Koichi, who seem to be involved in the story. The game's genre is adventure, and it is rated for all ages. This strategy guide outlines the spring first play scenario for the Sega Saturn game Shizen Season. The game is structured in an omnibus style across 4 seasons, and this guide focuses on the spring and summer scenarios, particularly for unlocking CGs in CG appreciation mode. Achieving full CG completion requires specific choices at key decision points, detailed in the provided flowchart for the spring first play scenario. The flowchart begins with Prologue, Day 1, Day 2, and Day 3. Day 1 choices involve refusing or thinking, then tidying up, and kissing. Day 2 presents options like pretending not to know, getting angry, or telling the truth, with telling the truth leading to a bad end. Day 3 includes kissing, sending her back to the police or dorm, being silent, or sending her back coldly. In this case, the final choice is between talking or hugging Ayano, both leading to Ayano's happy end. Notably, the first playthrough guarantees Ayano's ending, and Xingxiang's happy ending is not obtainable in the first playthrough. This page is a strategy guide for the Sega Saturn game Summer, a romance adventure game set during the summer. It focuses on the character Yu, a childhood friend, and guides players through a first play to achieve her happy ending. The page presents a flowchart covering 3 in-game days, detailing the choices players must make. Starting on Day 1, choices involve responding honestly or evasively, and then playing games like rock, paper, scissors, cards, or baseball fist game. Day 2 involves deciding whether to go with everyone or alone with you, and how to search for her. Day 3 focuses on inviting or not inviting you, and then making further choices to reach Jung's happy ending by climbing a tree, while incorrect choices lead to bad ends. The guide clarifies that on the first playthrough, only Yun's happy ending is obtainable, and Natsune's happy ending is not available. The next page is a strategy guide for the second playthrough of a game, focusing on achieving a happy ending with the character Ayano, while also mentioning romance with Sayaka becoming available in this playthrough. The guide mentions that the events are more intense than the first playthrough, and bad endings are more frequent. To get Ayano's happy ending, you need to make at least 3 correct specific choices. The page provides a complete flowchart for the second playthrough, starting from the prologue and spanning across 3 in-game days. The flowchart presents decision points such as responding to Ayano's feelings and whether to kiss her or not. Depending on the choices made, the player can reach either a happy end or a bad end. The flowchart illustrates various scenarios and choices the player must make to navigate Ayano's romantic route, with images depicting scenes from the game showcasing interactions with Ayano. The flowchart details specific actions like wiping sweat from her forehead, hugging her shoulder, and choosing whether to speak first or remain silent, all impacting the ending. It warns that incorrect choices, like telling Ayano you have a date with another girl or coldly rejecting her, lead to bad endings. There's a clear path outlined to achieve the happy end with Ayano, and also a happy end specifically noted for Sayaka, achieved by avoiding people's eyes. This page is a strategy guide flowchart for the second play in a summer-themed dating sim or adventure game. It details a route to pursue a female character, showing decision points across 3 in-game days. The flowchart starts on day 1, with choices on how to answer a question, either answer honestly or deceive. Depending on this initial choice, the player engages in activities like rock, paper, scissors, card games, or a baseball-themed game. Further paths involve decisions on persuading, forcefully taking someone back, or ignoring them, potentially leading to a bad end. Day 2 inches continues, with choices about taking someone along or not, giving reasons, or becoming frustrated, again with paths to bad end. The Day 3 inches section focuses on a character named Yu, and whether to invite her, leading to different outcomes. A happy end is mentioned in relation to a character named Natsune, and a separate ending is associated with Yu. The guide provides notes explaining that choices affect the ending type, with fewer positive choices leading to bad end and more to happy end or unhappy end. It also mentions that choosing here in a certain scenario will change the Day 3 inches choices related to Natsune. This page is a Sega Saturn soft review page featuring 2 games planned for release between November 20th and November 26th. The first game reviewed is Sankyo Fever Jiki Simulation S Volume 3, a pachinko simulator. Female users found it enjoyable as a game, allowing players to adjust the odds and enjoy the thrill without losing real money at a pachinko parlor. One reviewer thought it was just okay and wouldn't lose or gain by buying it, suggesting it's a collection piece for fans rather than a compelling game. Another reviewer reflects on older pachinko games, noting the simpler but still enjoyable presentation in this title. The second game is Find Love 2 Rhapsody, a dating simulation. One female reviewer was surprised by the slow pace of movement in the game's map, taking 1 minute to walk a single step, finding it tedious despite the cute characters and dating sim elements. Another reviewer noted that while the H scenes are present and visually appealing, they wished for more focus on general dating and interaction with the girls beyond those scenes. Wizardry. Rilgaman Saga is a collection of the first 3 Wizardry games, praised for faithfully recreating the originals while adding modern features. Reviews highlight its classic feel, faithful porting for fans, and recommend the Saturn version for autosave and bonus dungeons. Etude Prologue. Shaking Heartbeats is a high school adventure game with cute characters and well-done animation, focusing on relationship-based choices. It is praised for deep character interactions, detailed emotions, and story-driven gameplay, although the self-voiced protagonist is a potential drawback. Borderland is the Japanese version of Populous 2, a simulation game with core gameplay similar to Populous but with a lighter, more cartoonish atmosphere. Reviews note its initially unclear gameplay becomes enjoyable, focusing on managing characters, boardies, and real-time map clearing, though the game speed can be slow and later levels are harsher. This page showcases the Secret Technique shopping section, a guide to hidden tips and tricks for Sega Saturn and Dreamcast games. It highlights Satacol, or Sega Saturn Collection's secret techniques are also featured. First, for the wrestling game All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua Fighter, they reveal a secret wrestler named Hanjo Hatsuko, also known as Bomber. Initially weak, this character becomes incredibly powerful as their spirit gauge increases, with strong moves like a Kinniku Buster and Frankensteiner. Next, for Cotton 2, Magical Night Dreams, they address the issue of character selection in 2-player mode. The secret technique is to play in training mode in 2-player mode and clear the stage, after which both players can choose the same character in the main game, enhancing cooperative play. Finally, for Shining Force 2i, they reveal a trick to have all 3 protagonists, Julian, Median, and Synbios, share the same name. This can be achieved by manipulating the name input screen by selecting and deselecting characters during the naming process. The page also includes a password for the wrestling game and mentions the return of the Tornado Wrestler, now balanced for fairer matches. At the bottom there is a call for readers to submit their own secret techniques for Sega Saturn games for potential publication. This page is a sunny side-up feature from SNK, introducing upcoming Neo Geo Pocket games. An SNK representative, Mr. Umemoto, is featured stating that they are happy to be in Dreamcast Magazine. He recommends the Tunapon and Melanchan games, saying they are addictive. The page highlights the pocket fighting series Samurai Spirits, which is Samurai Showdown for you, for the Neo Geo Pocket. It mentions that the familiar characters and gameplay of the main series are retained, even though the characters are smaller. Features like choosing Kenjutsu or Ruken Kane fighting styles, rage explosions, and Isen moves are present. It is described as a serious battle in a small size. The page also features Baseball Stars for Neo Geo Pocket, showcasing its team editing feature where players can create their own teams by choosing favorite players from 12 teams. It mentions it's possible to create the strongest team and play against friends. Finally, Master of Shogi, Shogi no Tatsujin, for Neo Geo Pocket is introduced as an authentic shogi game in a small size, enjoyable anywhere. It mentions arcade-like controls and deep gameplay. The page also advertises a Samurai Spirits illustration special feature in the next issue and encourages readers to submit illustrations. Arcade Express Volume 34 previews Gunbird 2, a shooting game set for early November arcade release in Tokyo with two-player support. Described as an orthodox shooter with simple controls, it builds on the original Gunbird with added playfulness. Developers aimed for addictive gameplay, focusing on appealing elements. The story follows 5 adventurers seeking a universal medicine, requiring them to gather sun fragments, star teardrops, and moon dew from perilous locations, including an underground shrine. The villainous trio adds conflict to their quest. 3 characters are introduced. Alucard, a balanced bat and cross-based character. Marion, returning from the previous game with spreading main shots and candy bomb. And Valpiro, featuring the powerful Valpiro cutter subshot, but with a shorter bomb duration. Sikyo highlights Gunbird 2 as their resurrection after 4 years. An evolved shooter with close-range attacks, exhilarating gameplay, story, multi-endings, hidden items, and secret characters, representing a culmination of their shooting game expertise. Guardian Force is a shooting game centered on strategic attack type selection. Players utilize 3 main attacks: a basic shot that powers up, a close-range proximity attack for deflection and damage, and a level attack charged by holding the shot button. Stages are set in locations like America, Desert, Western Theme, Machine Boss, Japan, Snowy Taisho Era, Cannon Traps, Mechanical Boss, and Italy, Venice-like Canals. 3 stages are randomly picked for the first half, followed by 4 more. Bonus points are earned via chain combos by collecting coins, treasure items released by a mid-stage character, and strategic use of nice bombs, which clear the screen and give bonus points. Playable characters include Tabia, a bullet-nullifying German girl, and Haikob, an Arabian boy with magic-based attacks like the Arabian Sword subshot. This page features an interview with Tatsuya Minami, the Development Department 3rd Production Department Manager. The interview is titled, Visual Memory Communication, Let's Get On Board Immediately, and discusses the know-how from Street Fighter II that will be used in upcoming games. Minami talks about his history at Capcom, working on the original Street Fighter, and how the company shifted to Street Fighter II. He also mentions using the visual memory for communication and simple simulations on Dreamcast. The top right box mentions the previous AM show and the popularity of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, despite it only being a video exhibit at the time, and states this interview is the second part with the producer. The bottom left section announces that the Street Fighter 03" National Tournament Finals will be broadcast on TV across various channels in Japan on November 22nd. The bottom right section, Push's Room and Maybe Text Won't Come Out, appears to be a reader's submission area, featuring fan drawings and comments, mentioning games like Vampire Savior. This page focuses on Capcom's arcade game based on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, running on the CP System 2i hardware. It announces the addition of 4 new playable characters to the roster, bringing the total to 10. These new characters are Midler, with her stand Empress, Alessi and his stand Sethan, Chaka wielding Anubis, and Devo the Cursed with Ebony Devil. The article details each character's abilities and stand powers as they will appear in the game, noting how they translate the original manga's stand abilities into fighting game mechanics. It mentions that the game will include characters previously shown, like Kujo Jotaro, and that these additions are from the Stardust Crusaders, part of the JoJo series. The game is anticipated to feature intense battles and faithfully recreate the unique stand abilities from the manga. The next page showcases the Hoth stage from the arcade game Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. This article reveals the complete Hoth stage, following previous previews of the Yavin and Endor stages. The release of the game is anticipated in early December. The Hoth stage is set on the 6th planet of the Hoth system, a planet of ice and snow where temperatures are below 30 degrees even during the day. Players will encounter AT-ATs, ATSTs, probe droids, snowtroopers, and Wampas, all familiar from the Star Wars movie. The mission objective is to destroy enemy walkers and escape Echo Base. The stage is divided into 3 sections. First, players engage in aerial combat over the snowfields in a snowspeeder equipped with front laser cannons and a rear harpoon gun, replicating the movie's intense 3D visuals. Second, upon entering Hoth Base, players dismount the snowspeeder and face snowtroopers in intense gun battles within the base itself. The controls remain simple, requiring players to aim and shoot. Finally, deep within Echo Base in the hangar, players confront 2 Wampa boss creatures. These 2-meter-tall beasts are formidable foes with powerful claw attacks that need to be timed and dodged. Defeating the Wampas allows players to successfully escape Echo Base and complete the stage. Star Wars Trilogy Arcade features stages based on iconic movie locations, Yavin and Endor. The Yavin stage recreates the Death Star battle, placing players in X-Wings against TIE fighters, culminating in a trench run and a boss fight against Darth Vader. Gameplay is automatic scrolling with trigger-based shooting. The Endor stage focuses on destroying the second Death Star. It starts with speeder bike chases against scout troopers, followed by base infiltration where AT Saint Walkers serve as bosses. An event button is crucial for timely actions, like launching torpedoes or calling for support. AM-12 Research Division reports near 100% game completion and highlights ongoing high-score attack testing, emphasizing the game's depth and encouraging players to experience this advanced arcade title. The game Spike Out. Battle Street encourages diverse gameplay using character-specific C+J techniques. Spike's knee kick launches enemies for aerial combos, while White's somersault kick is a versatile combo starter. Tenshin's dash attack has range, but is vulnerable initially, allowing a 2-stage attack, B then C, after a successful C+J. Linda's jumping 2-stage kick's height is adjustable by timing J presses after B. All characters share a backsweep attack, S plus back plus C, considered more effective than the standard back attack, back plus B. Live Night. Linda uniquely possesses combination attacks starting with C, unavailable to others. Her normal combo is BBBB, while her original combo, CCCBBB, starts with light punches, C, offering a distinct close-range combat approach compared to standard BBB combos. This Dreamcast Magazine page offers Dynamite Cop strategy for AREA 1 and 2 bosses. AREA 1 features Douglas and Norfra, best defeated using jump throws, wall combos, and henchmen as projectiles. Utilize the run button if surrounded. Co-op allows one player to absorb hits while the other attacks. AREA 2's boss is Victor, where stair combat is discouraged. Lure enemies to flat ground and retreat into the tunnel, as Victor is weak in darkness. Eliminate smaller foes first, then use B-button combos and grabs on Victor. Co-op strategy involves luring enemies to stairs, while others attack from below. Blue Jacket enemies carry emergency kits. Wanted posters for Akemi and Atkins are displayed. A challenging back route in AREA 2 is hinted at, accessible by breaking a gate within 30 seconds of defeating the boss and entering an underground waterway. This page is a strategy guide for AREA 3 and AREA 4 of Dynamite Cop. AREA 3 emphasizes getting weapons early, specifically the hammer, to gain an advantage. Bosses in AREA 3 are Justin and Elliot, and the strategy involves using the pillars in the environment to separate them and exploit openings with C-level 3 inches attacks. Health recovery items can be found in rescue boxes in this area. For cooperative play, the tip is to divide the 2 bosses between players to manage them more effectively. AREA 4, set in a warehouse, highlights the abundance of items to pick up. The boss of AREA 4 is Curtis. The strategy here involves using the narrow passages to your advantage, utilizing C-level 4 inches attacks. The door plank is noted as a powerful weapon in this area. Health boxes are also available. For co-op in AREA 4, the guide suggests using a combination of hammers and door planks for effective teamwork. AREA 5 boss is Hui and Lui and Dewey, Stage 1's strongest enemy. The strategy is to separate them and fight individually, avoiding normal throws. Rescue boxes contain 2 large recovery items, one mid-stage, one during the boss fight. In co-op, isolation is dangerous. Retreat and regroup if overwhelmed. Wanted posters for McLaurin and Carey are present. Area 6's boss is Randolph in a narrow field. Utilize slopes to your advantage. Effective strategies are punch and throw, B1, B2 close range, dodging yellow flashes to counter. Rescue boxes are available. A wanted poster for Porter is shown. Co-op emphasizes avoiding powerful boss attacks. If targeted, a partner should lure the boss away. Utilize elevation differences in co-op to draw aggro. The game is Dynamite Cop. This page is an advertisement for the upcoming book, Making of Red Company, which is scheduled to be released in December. This book delves into the history of Red Company, a developer known for games like Superhero Chronicle Wataru, the Far East of Eden series, and Sakura Wars. The book promises to cover everything about Red Company, from its establishment to its current projects, featuring interviews with key members and details about their characters. It is priced at 1,300 yen and will be 112 pages, all in color, and is a joint production with SoftBank. The next page is Dreamcastrology, a weekly horoscope section. Each zodiac sign provides a fortune reading, love, health, and work forecasts, alongside advice and illustrations. It also features a Lucky Person of the Week section. The theme is Dreamcast related, as seen in the title and design of the page. This page advertises the upcoming issue of Dreamcast Magazine, issue number 4, which is scheduled for release on November 27th. It highlights the Dreamcast launch with a focus on Virtua Fighter 3 TB and other launch titles, promising packed information and exciting new Dreamcast titles to be revealed. The page features a staff list for the magazine and teases a Dream Talk between the presidents of Sega and Capcom, discussing the Dreamcast. It mentions a 22-page feature covering Dreamcast launch software. Games highlighted include Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Godzilla Generations July, Sonic Adventure, and Buggy Heat. Dreamcast new title information mentions Sega 2, Kishin World Evolution, Incoming, and Human Final War. Special features include Project Berkeley, which is known as Shenmue, to the north, White Illumination, and D no Shokutaku 2, which is known as D2. There is also a small section with an apology and correction regarding a prize winner announcement in a previous issue. This page is an advertisement for the Wizardry Lilgamen Saga for Sega Saturn, a compilation of 3 popular RPG titles: Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, Wizardry 2, Knight of Diamonds, and Wizardry 2-1, Legacy of Lilgamen. Is touted as a complete revival of the series, hitting shelves on November 26, 1998, priced at 5,800 yen. The ad emphasizes that this package is the definitive Wizardry experience, boasting special Saturn-exclusive editions and staying true to the original gameplay systems. It highlights the immersive dungeon crawling, beautiful 3D graphics, and the ability to switch between Japanese and English text. It also mentions a museum mode for item and monster viewing, and that the music is by Keitaro Haneda, promising a classic RPG experience. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Dreamcast launch in Japan on November 27th. Priced at 29,800 yen, excluding tax. It features 2 men with megaphones promoting the console. Below are images for launch games, including Godzilla Generations, July, which was never released internationally, Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Pen Tri-Isolon, Sonic Adventure, Sega, which was Japan only, and Blue Stinger.